We locked in?
We locked in.
Oh,
Yeah,
we're locked in.
Yes,
Locked in now.
We're locked in.
Locked in.
It's been what, like is it more than a month now that we've been absent from active podcast episodes?
From active, yeah. It's been probably at least a month.
Because we've honestly been trying to just shoot for the production of things and just get things edited, get things pushed out, get a logo. Shout out to this boy right here for working on the logo.
Graphic designer.
Shout out to me and Germ getting everyone caught up on the editing side of things. And, you know, we got shit up and rolling, you know.
Got a theme song.
Oh, yeah.
We do got a theme song.
We
We
do.
got Buppy working on, like, another spiel if he wants to add a little jingle to it. You know, maybe some rap shit, you know.
I mean, did we
Exactly.
forget to mention that we have a name now? Like, I don't think we've even gotten into the name.
Hey, who wants to announce that shit? Buppy,
I thought
do the
we- I
honors.
I thought we did the other episode,
I thought
honestly,
we did,
prior
I
to
thought we
this.
did too. And
Did
then we
we?
were going to go
I
into
think so, yeah.
how we got the name.
Oh, did we?
It was at the tail end.
Oh, it was?
Okay.
Oh, I've just been way out of it then. Well, welcome back to another episode of Gamiac Convos with your host, Icky Kai. We have alongside,
Oh, my Mitri.
to all the way far to my right, we have Big Fucking Germ,
Yo.
a.k.a. Mr. Red Velvet Cupcake. To my right, we have my co-host, my man with the plan,
Boyfriend.
We're starting like
my,
this.
my future husband.
Oh my goodness. Maybe we should do
AKA
Jeremy's topics then if we're on this way.
Why can't I be a co-host?
We're all co-hosts,
Quad
I
coast.
didn't get the co-host title.
but you're Big Fucking Germ.
Yeah, true.
That's better than a co-host,
He's
right?
the producer.
Quad
guess,
coast.
I guess.
Everyone's got their own little names, okay?
I'm just here.
But yeah, we have
I'm just here so don't get fined.
AKA Mr. Dimitri Bunto over here.
Oh, my Mitri.
Oh, my Mitri, the plug. And then to my left, we have the man himself, the Buppaduke.
The Buppaduke.
The Buppaduke.
That's a new one?
We coined a new name last night. 'cause
Shoot.
we were watching the Babadook, and it just flowed so well because Jose was
Buppaduke.
like, the Buppaduke.
The Duke
And I was
is
like,
in town.
yeah, Duke.
I'm with it.
The
with it.
Buppaduke.
Buppaduke, I'll take it.
Buppaduke.
That's
Or like
me.
all those single ladies out there, they're like, "Aw, I want a puppy.
A little puppy.
So cute. I
Shit.
saw you all the way from over here. I want a puppy."
Yo.
But yeah, no, we got we rolling with this shit as far as going public. How do you guys feel about just it officially being a public pod, and we're like getting people commenting on our shit and reacting to our shit, and people like friends and family reaching out and seeing how we're doing? How you guys feel about that?
I'm waiting for Kyle to cancel us.
Oh, it's coming.
What?
Speed running that shit.
Hey, we're
10,000
getting.
subscribers.
Like you said, what? We said 10,000?
Yeah.
10,000 subscribers, deleting the channel?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the goal
So
right now.
first
That-
9,999. You're the lucky ones.
Be ready for
we
that.
go private and just only on Patreon. We go to Rumble.
Fuck Rumble.
No,
Hey.
Rumble's the squad. That's
Is
Dana.
it?
Bro,
That's
Jack is
Dana.
trying
That's Germ's demographic.
He's trying
bro.
to sell the bag already.
Come on, dog.
That's our man
Nah,
Dana.
Now we can't get no fucking Rumble
Yeah.
content.
No, bleep that,
That's
bleep that, bleep that.
fucked up.
We can
It's
cut that,
all
we can cut
ruined.
that. We can cut that. We love Rumble over
All
here.
these cuts, man.
Anyways, what have we been up to, honestly?
I mean, we kind of just recapped it. I was just getting your thoughts and opinions on like it officially being like a public podcast and like actually putting our posts on TikTok and Reels and Instagram.
Yeah, we're
and
getting
YouTube.
feedback.
Oh, yeah,
positive,
yeah.
How you guys
negative.
feeling in,
Stitches.
as far as the perception goes of it?
Stitches. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
getting stitches. That boy Dimitri getting some hate now.
Hey, they hate us because they ain't us.
Exactly.
They ain't us.
They ain't a
Ain't us.
Gamiac.
But I agree with his hate.
Yeah.
I-
Do you agree with it, though?
Yeah, because I said it.
Wait, so
I thought we were gonna save this for the next pod. We could dive into it type shit.
I mean, we're not really going into it.
Okay.
You were
But-
just literally asking as
I
far as
was gonna say the origin of Gamiac Convos.
Yeah, let's do it.
the
So
origin. Oh, yeah, we can
this
go
man
into that.
Dimitri loves the word gamey because of one of our first times.
Yeah, so
Meeting.
it's like an inside joke between all four of us, or even more than four of us. It extends to a large friend group, and that we became friends from working together, and like it just came up during a conversation, and you guys heard it in the first episode. It was just like we're eating a little meal together, and there was free lamb chops, and we're like, oh shit, bet we're all grubbing tonight, right? And one of one of our friends, she was like, I don't like that shit. That's too gamey. And I'm like, okay, well, there's lettuce, there's fucking corn. Is that shit too gamey? And then Dane jumped in. He's like, yeah, this corn too gamey, huh? Is it too gamey for you? And we just roll with it, and it just became a universal word of the definition of it is just it's something good, something great, something special. It's gamey,
Not facetious.
Facetious. That shit, the opposite. That's like
Way
kryptonite. That's the
opposite.
the anti-gamey.
You don't want to be facetious.
So that's where gamey comes into play. And then this whole podcast was born out of going to Cane's there.
We
going to Raising Cane's
and
after a shift just to shoot the shit and just kinda
have a
get
little
stuff off our
therapy.
chest.
Yeah, have a little therapy with all the
sesh.
friends, just like things we're going through. Make sure we're talking and just have a little Canes on the side, and we're like, you know what? We always get a Gamiac combo, like everyone here gets a Gamiac, and we're like, how about Gamiac Convos, And that shit has a ring to it.
And thus it was born.
Right.
The ring.
Yeah. Good convos, good chicken, good friends.
Wink, wink.
Raising Cates. Hashtag ad.
Please sponsor us.
Please. I'm tired of paying $18 every fucking
Bro,
night.
$18 for a Gamiac combo is fucking
Is it
insane.
18 now?
With the
Hell
extra
yeah.
sauce.
Wasn't
Yeah.
that shit like 14?
Bro, it was 14
That shit used to be like
2 years ago.
$12, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I don't get sauce personally, so I don't get the extra charge. But
Ugh,
I
you
can't
have to get
trust
the
you.
sauce. Yeah, for real.
well, you also don't get 8 Texas toast, which I can't trust y'all. The fuck?
Nah,
How y'all not eat 8
nah,
Texas toast? That's the best thing there.
That's a demon right there. You can't do that.
They
That's
need mac and
scary.
cheese.
A lot of
That's
sweet
all I'm
tea
saying.
refills.
I
bro.
agree.
Honestly,
I've always said that. I've said, bro, if they add mac and cheese to
That'd
that,
be fire.
dude,
Mm.
Cane's would be no doubt probably the best fast food ever if they added some sort of mac and cheese dish to it.
We about to go into a
I
fast
still
food
love you,
debate.
Chick-fil-A.
Fast food Chick-fil-A nice, yeah.
Chick-fil-A,
Dude, honey mustard.
it's okay.
Does
No,
Shake
they're-
Shack
they're-
even count
honey
as
mustard.
fast food?
Shake Shack is fire.
That counts as fast food?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
what?
it's like
Cane's
higher
doesn't-
end.
Cane's doesn't top it. Then.
Shake Shack is not
Cane's
higher
even-
end.
Cane's doesn't come close to fucking. Shake Shack doesn't come close to. What the fuck am I saying?
Shake Shack doesn't come close to Cane's. Why?
No. Cane's doesn't come close to Shake Shack. Is
So
what
you're
I'm
saying Shake Shack is better?
way better, miles better,
Why?
dude. It's like comparing like my Disney crush to like Margot Robbie.
Who's your Disney crush?
But
I got a few. Don't get me started on
Vanessa
that.
Hudgens. We were talking about that the last episode.
But yeah, no, I just think Shake Shack just has so much. They have variety, one, and just like the burger quality. Is
What
really
variety?
good.
Aren't they just burgers?
And fries
Yeah,
and shakes?
no shit.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't get a shake at fucking Cane's.
Yeah, you're right. You can't. But you can't.
You can't get no chicken nuggies.
But they have chicken
tenders,
tenders.
dog.
It's the same. It's
Right.
That's even better than chicken nuggets.
I don't know about all that.
I don't know. I feel like a specific chicken tender is definitely better than chicken nuggets. Like
That's facts.
Cause you know me, like sometimes like a chicken tender is too hard to handle. It's too long and
Hey,
girthy.
speak for
Like a
yourself.
chicken
the
tender.
boy needs nuts in his mouth.
Like a chicken nugget, like it's really easy to like it's down,
That is
really easy digestible and shit.
Speak for yourself, Jerem. What are you talking about?
You can handle that chicken.
You can handle all
I
that?
can handle all the chicken.
Oh, God.
Give me all the chicks.
Oh my god.
Damn.
Oh no! Already starting off on a bad note.
I know. So, going off on a good note, what are you guys' thoughts on is ignorance of bliss?
We didn't even talk about our perception of the pod.
Yeah, we did. We didn't even go into that.
Okay.
I thought you were about to dive right into that. I was like, okay, Jerem.
Hey, all right. So, what are your guys' thoughts on the perception of the pod?
You want to go first, Bubby? You've been kind of quiet.
I mean, yeah, I'll go first. Honestly, I feel like it's still like kind of hitting me just because it's so new, and it's
Yeah.
like going to work and having like a few coworkers tell me about like, oh, I watched the episode. Oh, that shit's cool. I've seen the clips. It's like
Nah, she kinda
it's just
fire,
so weird
yeah.
to think because I've never like put myself in that position before. So
Mm.
it's just like all so new.
I feel like there's like eyes on you now type
That,
shit, right?
that 15 minutes of fame, Hollywood status.
We here.
We need.
Yeah.
Gaming wood status.
That game.
Nah, I fuck with it though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
cool.
What about you, Jerm?
I love it. I love hearing your guys' thoughts and opinions on topics that we bring up. And granted, it's a melting pot of a lot of different conversations.
Yeah.
But when you get down to the real nitty gritty of our topics. I feel like you guys have very interesting opinions that either challenge my own opinion or get me thinking about my opinion on things to maybe even broaden my perception to like lean on like, oh, maybe think about this or maybe think about that. So and I would hope the same for our viewers, like maybe get some thinking on, never really thought about that before. And then maybe it changes something for the better, hopefully not for the worse. But yeah, I love the aspect of being able to be open, vulnerable, and responsive to other people's thoughts and opinions,
I like
and
that
open
word.
to hearing.
Yeah.
Just this open. I love the open forum format where it's non-judgmental to a point.
Yeah.
Unless it's a fucking picture of the booth.
Unless you're talking to Kyle.
Yeah, that's just talking to me.
This is the judgment zone right here. Shit.
But the overall aspect of having a platform to be able to speak on your own thoughts and opinions is very humbling and
Right,
cool.
and even when there are like
different opinions.
different opinions, we're at a point where we can honestly openly discuss it and hear each other out type shit, to where it isn't a one-sided conversation. It's either, oh, I see you there, I see you there, oh, have you leaned here with three on one, but at least one person's kind of, what about this, what about that kind of thing, right? Where it's like we're always open about certain mindsets or philosophies.
Unless it's Pokemon versus Power World.
Right.
Unless it's taking pictures of restaurants, Pokemon vs. Power World, High School Musical. Don't debate that shit.
Right. What about you, Kyle?
Bro, honestly, I think now that I've like stepped away from the podcast a little bit because we've had like such a time period where we haven't done it,
Yeah.
I've started to just appreciate it more so for personal sake rather than public audience sake.
Right.
Because as like we've been kind of like going back and doing these clips, I've really just been like rewatching them over and over again, just like on my own time, and kind of just like taking in what is being said and really like diving into everyone's perspectives about their topic, like why they think the way that they think, where like they got that information from, how they specifically like structure their arguments or like their points and stuff. And I feel like it's really just gotten me to start diving into how people just are in general, and not be so like stuck in my own perception and point of view of like how I think. Like I feel like it has just given me the chance to like really start to understand people rather than just going straight to my mindset and being like, no, they're just wrong. Like everything I think is just right and they're just wrong in their sense, and like they can have their own opinion, blah blah blah, but at the end of the day, like what I think is always right and what I think will always overpower that.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think that's helped me a lot with just kind of dealing with like my own possibly negative traits and negative points of view, and kind of giving me perspective to like switch that around and really just hear people out. And even just going off of the whole personal sake of just like mindset, I think it's just gotten me to like really appreciate just how much fun we have on it.
Yeah.
Because the first few episodes are just, bro, they're just so wacky, and just looking back on it, even like a few months later, it's just fucking hilarious, because I will literally drive to work and play it on the stereo in my car.
Do you actually?
And I won't even be watching it. I'm just listening to it, bro. I will literally be on the middle of the road just dying, laughing, just listening to the some shit we say, and it's just like, I was like, I can't believe we said that shit. Like, that's just crazy that we said that, but it's so funny. And
the comments that kind of just come from like the gut, like
yeah,
Just
like,
raw,
right off the dome.
exactly. Or like the comments with like the long pauses, and then someone's like thinking of it, and then they spew it at like the perfect time. Like it just makes it so much better. So
No, for sure.
I think I just appreciate the fact that we're just doing it and we have memory of it, and not even necessarily going like viral or anything with it, getting feedback. I think it's just fun to just look back on and say like, damn, we did that.
That's all just like extra shit, if it does happen.
Yeah, I mean, like obviously, like the there's always that thought in the back of your head, like, damn, like I want people to see this and I want feedback on it, and I would like attention to it. But at the end of the day, like, bro, none of that shit is really matters unless you're having fun doing it. Unless you can look back on it and say like, damn, like I actually enjoyed talking about those things with those people, and getting to like hold on to those memories.
Or even bring value to like your own self.
Yeah,
or, like,
exactly.
Like I learned a thing about someone that you guys touched on, and it got me thinking like down different paths to like either improve on or consider also in a certain situation.
No, I definitely think I'd honestly say I really fuck with what we're doing, and I support it heavily. I think it's something I always wanted to do, and just being able to get a group of people that, one, can challenge me and get me to think differently about certain things, and also something that it's a platform to where how I represent myself is also something in it to where I'm happy that I can do it as well. And yeah, I really think it's got all of us to open up and just really, and that doesn't just go with mindset, it goes with being more open to speak, right? Like, and that there's a lot of things that just kind of, what's that fucking word? I was trying to think of it earlier, where it's not extra, it's like it's a result of doing something, you get better over time.
Results.
Oh, like a benefit, I guess.
I guess that's the word.
Benefit.
But yeah, like it's just a secondary benefit of like, by doing this, there's so much different skills that we're learning and improving along the way.
Yeah.
Laurels?
And
Rest on your laurels? I don't know.
I don't think that was the word, but
Anyways,
I forget where I was going with
forward.
that. But yeah, I really love what we're doing, and it's really cool when people are reaching out to us and like actually like they're actively listening. They're not just like, oh wow, you made a podcast.
Yeah.
Like they actually like are listening to the episode, and they're like, I love what you guys talked about this one.
Or they resonate with it.
Yeah,
Well,
and
that's
it's something to where we can even relate to them, and like, and the fact that we're opening up each other's mind to like new ideas and stuff, we're doing that for like other people as well, like, and people in our daily lives that kind of maybe didn't even see us that way are kind of seeing it more often now.
I think that's the way I think about it too. Is I think I would rather have 10 people who genuinely actively listen to a podcast rather than 1,000 people who would just like skim through it and go through clips of it and just be like, oh, that part was funny, and then that's it. Or they just mention that you do a podcast, be like, oh, I like your podcast, and then don't add anything else further onto it, rather than you have 5 people who comment and say like, damn, like, bro, your guys' podcast is so awesome. I love this part where Dimitri talked about this specific thing and his point of view on it, and how Justin combated on it and was like, no, like, you should do it this way instead. Like, just that as an example,
Yeah.
I would way rather have an audience like that rather than just people who view it to skim it.
Okay. And I think that's like honestly the perfect transition to our next topic, or our first topic actually is ignorance is bliss. We've talked about a lot of things that are really insightful and that have really kind of helped us open up our mind. Where do you guys sit as far as on the fence, or what side of the fence you are on ignorance is bliss? Do you think that's a good thing, or do you think it's a bad thing?
I think it can go either way.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I think sometimes knowing too much information can send you in a spiral and kind of like overcalculate your decisions. And I think also not knowing enough information can cause you to make the wrong decision as well too, because you don't have enough information to make a decision that if you did have that information, you would, I guess, make. I don't know. It's kind of like a mind fuck in a sense.
Yeah.
But I'm probably just not explaining it the right way. But I think if you were to have a specific amount of information, you can make the decision that you would want to make. But I also think if you have too much information, you can overcalculate and make a decision that you don't necessarily should make.
Is there a difference between too much information and all of the information?
Yeah.
Are you talking about like just how much how much information you're taking versus all of it at once? Is that what you're saying?
For me, I feel ignorance is not a bliss. I feel if you're ignorant over something that you don't know and you still speak or do action upon something you don't know, I feel is the wrong way about going to do something. Like, I feel like if I'm going to drive a car, I want to know how to drive a car. I don't want to just like start it up and like, I know how to start a car. I can drive.
Yeah.
Honestly, I probably got the same mindset as you, to where like I'd rather know all the information and overcome whatever it is I'm facing versus kind of going into it and not knowing about it, because I think sometimes that can be really good. Like, for example, we'll use I think we talked about earlier, just a personal relationship with someone, like knowing a secret or something that this person did that was considered bad, and just going about your life not even knowing it at all, and you just think everything's good, and then boom, it blows up, and all of a sudden maybe that friend group breaks apart because this information was withheld. I personally am someone that like would rather just have everything out on the table and just like know about it, and that way everyone can kind of confront it together versus just kind of going about life and like not really knowing about it.
Yeah, if you're having secrets in a relationship, that's not a healthy relationship to begin with.
Absolutely not. You know what I think it is too? What I was just thinking about is I think ignorance is usually bliss whenever you're dealing with something more on no, that's not where I was trying to go with that. I was trying to say that I think having a lot of information when you're doing something physical is probably beneficial, but I think when it comes to like a mental and emotional perspective, I think having too much information can be to your downfall as well too.
Kind of like overload.
Mental, emotional situations such as...
I think like how he was kind of saying, like I feel like when a relationship ends and you're trying to figure out all the reasons as to why it ended, that's kind of you trying to like overtake way too much information when you're kind of already in a negative place and the situation already didn't end the way you wanted it to. Like, why would you add more of a burden on top of yourself to know all the reasons and all the like the negative things as to why it ended? Like, I understand wanting to have closure and getting all the answers, but I also feel like sometimes not having all the answers is probably to your benefit because it can just lead you down to an even darker hole than you should be in.
Well, with the breakup, sometimes is there an answer to like why it ended? Like,
I
think so.
Yeah, I would say so.
So I feel like if you do know why it ended, like what other closure do you need to know?
I'm kind of saying
of like the why. Like if it ended, it ended, right?
But I'm kind of saying as to like trying to figure out all the reasons as to why it ended. Like if you were to just give one solid reason and one general statement as to why it ended, I feel like it would probably be a lot easier for you to move on rather than someone just like throwing all this information on you of like what you did so wrong. Like I feel like that can just.
And do you agree with that if it's present tense or future tense? Like hearing about it like in real time and like going through like knowing all the information and going through it and trying to figure it out at that same time, or trying to process it over the after it ends.
Well, if I may input, I feel if that partner of yours does list everything that they resented for so long, half of the blame or not blame, but half of the reason that it ended is because the lack of communication, that they didn't bring that these things were bothering you in the moment.
So that's like that's a post situation moment to where instead of all of the information out in the present tense where like you're going through it and this is an issue, let's talk about it. This is an issue. Let's figure this out versus just throwing it all on top of the person at the very end. I think it depends on where it is in that situation, right? As far as the ignorance is bliss thing, because some people just go through it blindly, not knowing anything, and like they just get just heartbroken at the very end, right? Yeah. Versus like getting all the overload, feeling all the experiences, going through this, going through that in real time, to where they're not ignorant to anything in the situation. They know everything that's going on, and they're actively trying to figure it out or solve it with the person, and it just ends as well. I think that's a healthier way of going through things.
Either or, if it's past tense, present tense, future tense, I feel I still rather know what the issues were.
Yeah,
so likewise. I can still improve upon them. Either with you in that moment, if there is some silver lining of saving a relationship, or just knowing, okay, all these things did hurt you. I could take that into my next relationship, but the next relationship is not going to be that person. So like those things may or may not affect the next person that you may go into with. So very broad, general statement, but I still feel knowing everything that did bother a certain individual would help me grow as a person regardless.
It's now that I start to think about it, like I am very much that way where I want to know everything. So it's like I'm almost kind of contradicting myself saying that it would probably be best to not know those things. But me as a person, like I know I would want to know everything, and I know I would probably tell someone everything as to why things ended. But I also try to think on the flip side, like maybe I am so caught up in my own thoughts and so fucked up in my own thoughts a lot of the time is because I do know too much. Like I feel like a lot of people who just kind of can accept the situation for what it is and just accept the closure and not try to just urge someone on to keep going on and telling you as to what you did so wrong and make it like draw it out so much are usually the people that move on a lot faster.
You're basically saying you're on this side of the discussion because you already overthink. So like getting more information added onto that is like you overthink more things on your plate to where you'd rather not have all those things on your plate.
Yeah, it's weird because like I kind of can play both sides. Like I can agree with myself and I can disagree with myself at the same time.
Yeah.
I think it really just goes scenario to scenario because I mean like I'm almost positive like I before I say this, I'm almost positive I have been cheated on. Like I don't have solid evidence that it has happened, but given that situation from my last relationship, what I would say is now kind of knowing that information and not knowing the full details of it, I don't think I would want to know how I was cheated on, how long I was cheated on, what happened during that time period, like what they did, because I feel like I can just move on with the closure of, okay, I got cheated on. Like that already hurts enough in itself. Like I don't need the extra details on top of that to fucking haunt me even more.
Like the truth can be ugly.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And that's, I think, where ignorance is bliss kind of comes in because it's like, bro, like I would rather just not know that information and just deal with what I'm dealing now rather than knowing every specific fucking detail of how it happened and having to just replay that back in my head now and kind of deal with that now after I've already kind of gotten over it.
Okay. And are you guys on the same side of the fence as far as if it was like a friendship or like a mentor or like a family member?
I was gonna ask how regarding what he just said. Would that be ignorance, like not having that information, or just not having that information? Because I feel like, I mean, like, do you really like deserve to have all that information? Is it really like information that you need to not be ignorant?
Like.
So, like, ignorance is, you're saying, like, ignorance is, like, you're not willing to seek the information.
Versus not having the person openly telling you.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, yeah.
I mean, I don't necessarily think I would seek that information, at least probably not anymore. I think maybe when it first happened, I would have possibly liked to known about it. But also when I think about it now, it's like, that almost seems like a toxic mindset because, like, why would I even want to do that to myself? That's almost like there's like a specific term for
like
it.
Sitting in the past and
it is like ruminating, but on the past.
Not seeking out that information, is that being ignorant? Is what I'm trying to get to. Is like
just as far as the definition of it.
Yeah.
I think so.
That's a good question.
Because I think everything in the world, you're open to learn. You can learn about anything you want. And now with the fact that we have internet, it's even more possible. If you wanted to pick up skateboarding, or me, like you actively skateboard, I can obviously, like, back then I'd have to like go and ask you like, oh, you know how to skateboard, like, teach me how.
Yeah.
I can go on a YouTube video and like learn that shit on my own. And if you didn't have a phone, there's public library, there's so many different options of and avenues about learning something new, to where the chances are if you don't know about something, it's your choice because you're not actively seeking it. So I think that is an ignorance in a sense.
Is it ignorant not to find out something you want to know? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I think being ignorant is a choice.
I'm talking like in this specific scenario, like he's talking about like being cheated on and not knowing all these specific details to that aspect, like, because I feel like if you know, like, already you know, like, the basis of what happened,
like that's enough information.
I feel like that's enough information to where you're not being
I personally
ignorant,
still have that same thought process as far as if in this given scenario too. Like, if you wanted to know about it, then yeah, it's ignorant because you're choosing to withhold it, or you're choosing not to pursue something that you wanted to know about. But if you're accepting of what the result is, and you don't want to know about it, then I don't think that's ignorant. I think you're content with what happened and you're just moving on. I don't think that is ignorant. It just depends on which side you are as far as actively wanting to pursue it versus not. Because I think if you don't want to do something. Actually, that's contradicting because if you...
that's what I'm saying.
I was thinking in my head, I was like,
right.
Is it really ignorant?
What is ignorant?
Yeah.
It's very tough to explain, I guess, in this situation because I'd want to say in that time period back then, I probably did want to know. But I kept telling myself, I was like, it's probably best to just not know that information because it's only going to make it worse. So I think that's where I started practicing ignorance is bliss, because if I really wanted to, I could have seeked it out if I wanted. Like, I could have just straight up asked her or fucking, I don't know, fucking ask the dude or whatever if I really wanted
Yeah.
to. But I kind of took it upon myself. I was like, no, I'm not gonna fucking do that. I'm not gonna make my situation
It's
worse than what it is.
It's not even healthy to do that. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I-
exactly.
But what if getting that information? I'm not saying it would help you, but what if it does help you and it helps you grow
Like-
as a person?
Like,
is ignorance really bliss then
what
in
if
that
they're
scenario?
like a disease that you found out, and then like it got you checked out to like get you checked out on like health wise, and
Type
then, like,
shit,
maybe
type
you
shit.
find something else about your health. And
That's
you,
what I'm saying, it's-
It cured your
'Cause
cancer.
I agreed with Kyle at first, and then I started listening, and I was like, maybe ignorance isn't bliss, because having as much information as you can and working with all that information, I feel like it can benefit you.
Because
It
you
may-
need all of the questions to solve the puzzle, right?
Yeah, and ignorance may be bliss temporarily, but I feel like having all the information will benefit you in the long run.
I'd agree with that then.
Boom.
Because
Quote of the night.
Temporary makes sense. Like I would agree with that.
Wait, say that again. No, Kyle.
He was
I'm
just
saying-
agreeing saying that
Temp-
ignorance
temper- oh.
being bliss would be ignorance could be bliss temporarily.
Yes.
But in the big picture, if you really wanted to tackle and solve and actually have like personal growth, having all the questions is probably better in terms of figuring out yourself and wanting to be a better person, I think.
Yeah, because if you're
Yeah.
like working towards something, obviously to be the best, you want to have all the information laid out, and you don't want to be ignorant to anything regarding that. So
I was on the note of personal growth. I was kind of going to go to like this partner of mine said all these nasty things about me. How valuable is that information? Is that just her perspective? Like, is that truly you? Or is that just her being hurt over one thing and she says multiple nasty things on top?
If you can reflect and see truth in some of the things that hurt her, then I think there is room for growth. But if you know your truth and you know the truth, obviously there's two sides. There's always three sides, three answers or three true stories as far as like what happened.
Like-
One side, Germ's story, her story, the story, right? But not everyone is going to get close to this one because there's bias. And even someone that's unbiased is still going to just naturally be biased because that they're a person. They're not perfect, you know?
yeah.
But obviously the more level-headed person, the one that's more in control of their thoughts and their emotions, they're going to have something that's more close to the truth.
Or that has had more experience.
Right,
In
because
that route.
they have more things to compare it to.
So
Shout out
okay.
therapy.
When it comes to the nasty things she's saying, is it more so like, are they just surface level things? Or are they actual, like, is she diving deep into, like, is there, like, problems behind those things that she's saying? Like, is there,
But, well, I'm just getting, like
is she just saying, oh, you're a fucking
you're an
idiot,
asshole.
you're an asshole,
Yeah.
but not
like,
explaining as to why you're an asshole?
Right.
See-
Like, I'm not an asshole, but I may be rude, or I guess that's that.
I may not be an asshole, but I'm a dickhead.
She's referring to you as an asshole.
Okay.
but with
But-
no other context behind it.
Correct. But, like, the truth of it, the story of the assholeness is, like, considerate. You weren't as considerate.
Well, see, I think there needs to be added context into when people say that thing. And I mean, I feel like maybe only you know that because you're the only one that, you and her are the only two that know the situation at hand. And obviously you know her personally. So
Because you guys know the context.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
you
right.
guys know the context. But as far as like an outside perspective, like obviously there's no value in someone just calling you a fucking asshole for no reason. Like if I just were to call Dimitri, oh, you're a fucking dickhead. Like you're stupid as fuck. Like there's no context behind it. It's just me being a douche. Like why would I say that? Like I'd have to be like,
Why would you say that?
fucking douche.
I'd have to be like, like you're a fucking douchebag for what you did the other
Because,
night. Like
yeah.
you didn't show up for me. Like there
Right.
has to be context onto it for it to actually be, I guess, valuable.
Why is bro sound like he sounds like an overprotective girlfriend right now?
Sorry, man.
Buy me kings last night.
I've been going through a lot lately. Sorry. Had to take it out of you.
When you blew my back out, you didn't give me water or a towel.
Anytime someone says douchebag now, I just think of what's the hot dog movie?
I thought you were
Hot
going in a
dog
total
movie.
different direction.
Sausage Party?
I was gonna be like, oh, there's a code name coming up.
I thought he was too. I'm not gonna
Every time I
lie.
think about douchebag, I'm thinking of a code name.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, that fucking weasel.
oh, that's what we. I was thinking a different one. But, oh shit, we all got different ones. Shit, I'm not saying mine.
Hey, Big Germ said. No.
No mas.
No mas.
No mames.
No mas necesito.
Si, senor.
But yeah, I think just a flat out insult. It's not helpful. But I mean, if you can piece it together because you guys know each other personally and you guys have a shared experience, then I'm sure you can kind of think about what they're talking about. Vice versa for both of you guys. You know, like if you were to call her a bitch and she's to call you an asshole, like she knows, like, oh, maybe this one time, like I could have been more helpful around the house, or for you the opposite, or maybe I could have been more considerate of her schedule, right?
That example is crazy.
Speed, bro.
You're such a bitch. You didn't clean the fucking dishes the other night. Are you serious?
Or
That is insane.
that goes with Germ's point too. Maybe he didn't do the laundry, right?
Maybe I did do the laundry and they got mad at me because I didn't fold it.
Type shit, right?
I'm like, bro, I did the dishes and the laundry. You can't fold it, put it away. Like,
I wasn't
The
even going.
patriarchy, man.
I wasn't even going with any gender roles. I'm just naming examples
No, I know.
of the household.
I know. It was just so bad. I mean, and Justin both caught on to it.
Instantly, I was like, oh shit.
I tried to hold it in, but I couldn't.
I was holding it in and then collared it. I was like, oh shit.
hey, better out than in, I always say.
Oh, God.
Hey,
sure about
guys,
that?
Germ does the dishes in his household, okay? Germ does the dishes. Okay?
Actually, I don't. I do the laundry.
We do.
But he doesn't fold it.
We definitely do our dishes.
Yeah, we definitely do our dishes right there.
Not today.
I use paper plates.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
More expensive, but
Yeah.
smart.
Debatable.
It saves time for
Oh.
sure.
Costco.
And the water bill.
Do you wash your paper
Yep.
plates?
But the water bill's cheap.
I do, depending on what I
Type
eat.
shit. That's
I
kind of
do-
Wash the
I
paper
do-
plates.
I do-
That's like next
I do
level.
reuse paper plates depending on the meal.
Wash the plastic utensils.
Valid.
No, that's valid.
Type shit too.
Washing plastic utensils is valid, but paper plates, I don't know.
What if it's like
What if
paper
it's
plates,
hot-
but it's like the smooth kind where it's like
The
protected.
styrofoam.
Not styrofoam, but it's
Oh.
like smooth. But,
But
like,
how
The wax.
does
The wax.
right, the wax.
how does it not like? I mean, it's just cardboard and paper. How does it not start to just sog up from all the water?
What water?
You're not cleaning it with water.
Wait, wiping it with a
I
napkin?
said I reuse.
Let's take a
I
Windex
reuse
on
it.
that shit.
I reuse it.
The
I don't
greaser.
clean it. I reuse it. Depending on what I eat. Reuse.
Okay,
All right,
so
I can't defend you now. Yeah,
I digress.
I digress.
Well, okay, hold on. What do you eat when you reuse it? Like, what is
Like
like
a
what is an
sandwich.
Oh, bro, so
If it's just like breadcrumbs, all right. If it's not something that's gonna like mix hella in that
sometimes, like,
shit.
if I'm doing like 2 Hot Pockets, but I want to eat a Hot Pocket later. I use
Hot
this-
Pockets can be messy.
It's
I'll
also
have
got to be within a certain time frame.
Yeah,
too,
no
so-
more than 2 days.
Yeah, 2 days. I was thinking like a couple hours or some shit.
Bro, what?
All right, German,
Oh
you
my
keep digging that
God.
fucking hole, man.
Holy fuck! I'm not eating at Germ's house at all.
Don't use his paper plates.
I
That's
have
it.
a fine china for guests. I have fine china.
Okay.
Bro mixes his.
It's for situation. It's like lunch. It's like lunch.
For
Hot Pockets
situationships?
He's got that situational awareness.
Hot Pockets and sandwiches. That's like just of the
That's it.
reusable.
Bro uses the same paper plate
Majority
for.
dish.
You got the melted cheese from the Hot Pocket left over on the
Yeah,
plate.
that's the Hot Pocket plate.
The grease from the fucking microwave on like the little cardboard
That's
holder.
how you know that's the Hot Pocket plate.
Oh my god.
Big Jeremy, he eats.
Respect. Salute, soldier. I'm right here with you in the struggle, man.
Oh god,
Hey,
y'all
safe
don't know about
water.
struggle.
You get
Ignorance ain't
Costco,
bliss around this household.
60-pack. That's like 3 months worth of plates. You're saving like $300 in water bill.
right.
Lots of plates. Hell
This
yeah.
dude be using a fettuccine Alfredo. He eat it up and then he'll like not throw it away and he'll eat like fucking
That's why you get the foil.
Pen Express like
Oh my
You,
god.
Chow
you
mein
put
with
foil
it.
over it.
foil over the paper plate.
No, chow mein and fettuccine. No, you can't mix noodles.
This guy's got the whole strats down. No, you can't mix
Bro,
that.
He's been doing this
sandwiches
for
and
years.
Hot Pockets.
Doesn't the sandwich get like kind of contaminated by the Hot Pocket because it's like a
No,
marinara
I'm
on the
saying
peanut butter?
You keep the Hot Pocket plate sandwiches and then hot pockets. Like they don't mix, but you can I can use.
Like if you make more
Sandwiches
pocket, okay.
More sandwiches gets more sandwich plates. Hot pockets gets the hot pocket.
He's
plates.
got separate cabinets for the hot pocket plates and the fucking.
Like, Jeremy, what's your plate? That left one is for hot
what's
pockets.
a cabinet?
That one's for peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Don't open that plate. Why not?
For the
Don't do it.
made.
I do cook, and I do cook a lot of good food in fine china. It's just when you're solo at the house and you just want a sandwich and a couple hot pockets, saves a little.
Right, why do you want
money,
to do
and
the
wash
dishes,
it.
right?
Yeah.
It's bluff. I'm bluffing. I respect it.
Thank you.
I do
Me
the same
too.
shit.
Thank you.
I don't do the same
some-
shit, but I respect
Sometimes. Not often.
Not
when I'm down bad
not for 2
and I need a
days.
play, I'm like, okay, yeah.
Hey, even if you're up and up, man, saving water saves the planet.
Listen, man,
That's true.
I've ate on the
And saving paper plates.
I've ate on the counter before, so I don't got nothing to say.
Rolling back to ignorance is bliss, though. We kind of talked.
Well, ignorance is a bliss. The less you know, that you use food.
Hey,
Yeah, I know.
hey, I'm happy I learned that information. What do you mean? What the fuck do you mean?
It's probably a good thing we
I'm
learned
glad
that.
I learned that shit.
So, general consensus: ignorance is not a bliss
Hell
Yeah.
no.
unless it's temporary. But who
It can
wants
go
instant
either way. I
gratification?
feel like it's
And-
I feel like it's very
and either
Either
circumstantial.
way. What do you mean by either way?
Okay,
It
the
could
way
be a good
like
thing or it
for-
could be a bad thing. Is what he's saying.
Per situation.
per situation.
And that was what I was gonna roll into
Temporary.
was:
I
do you
disagree.
have that same thought process with a friend or a family member, or like a mentor? Like, do you have that same thought process of how we felt about the ignorance is a bliss thing in a relationship versus a different type of relationship?
Like
with,
if I had a mentor, like say a sport coach,
yeah,
and they taught me all these great things,
versus
but they were like behind closed doors were not a great person.
that, or just withholding certain things from you because maybe they don't think you're ready for that kind of lesson. Just that kind of it. You can kind of spin that conversation however you want to, but now it's just under the parameters of like a friend or a family member. Like, do you approach it differently than say like a actual like relationship with a person?
With the family member, I also big advocate for ignorance is not a bliss.
Mhm.
I feel family should know everything because when you start resenting family, that's just when stuff goes sour.
And sometimes they don't even know there's any resentment.
So
right.
I feel like
Yeah.
any way you play these cards, the more you know, the better you'll be.
Right. And you guys have that same thought process as well?
I would probably say so. Yeah, I'm just a very honest, open person, and I overthink a lot. So I feel like I probably am the type of person that needs a lot of information. But I feel like it's also just been detrimental to me in the past as well too. So I'm very much on both sides. I really feel like it's circumstantial.
But because it's been detrimental, it's got you to the point where do you feel because of the detriment that you went through that you've grown from that in a positive light?
I would say I've grown from it, but it's also fucked me up mentally as well too. Like I feel like it's obviously had its pros and cons, but I feel like sometimes
With the pros,
I feel like the pro is more long term, and the con is like very, like it's very
Current.
it's very current.
Yeah.
Yes, and dealing with current situations is fucking difficult when you're trying to, I guess, to just get to like the long run. Like you're trying to get to the pro, but it's kind of like in the distance, and you just have to fucking take on
There's
what's
things that are actively going on, and you have to juggle all of it at once.
yeah,
right?
exactly.
well, let me ask you this: so long run, past stuff like that was detrimental to you. In the present moment, is it beneficial? Like, how do I want to put this? I feel the general public thinks too much of the future or holds on to the past. I feel there's a small percentage of individuals who remain present
And appreciate it.
with what's in front of them, like
Yeah.
literally the here and now.
Yeah.
I feel the here and now is so underdeveloped in society's culture.
Yeah.
Mhm. Especially modern day. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel everyone like either wants the Lambo in the future or is stuck on their ex in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe that's just my
Or
own
the Prime Legion of Boom.
my own general like perception
Come back,
on
Richard
ideas of
Sherman.
like my own life or of lives that I see, or like that's what I choose to see.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how I feel. I feel, and even for myself, I'd rather be in the here and now, like focusing on like what I'm saying in this podcast with this topic versus I could go down a path of like, oh, my ex labeled me this, and this, and I can linger on those and like even go into those topics, but that's still focusing on the past versus like really, I've done all that. Here's what I learned. Here in this present moment, this is how I feel, and this is what I want to explain.
Mm-hmm.
Versus like what I would explain, like if I knew better or if I knew more in the future.
Right.
Trying to bring it to this here and now. I just rather take what I know now and present it as its true self.
What I think it is too, a lot of the time with living in the present, I think you kind of have to go through the fact of maybe gaining too much information, like not treating ignorance as bliss, to get to the point where you do start to treat it as a bliss. Because I feel like I've kind of been in the point, like just throughout like my entire life, I have been in the mindset where like I said, I overthink a lot and I need to know a lot of information. And I think now as I'm getting older and as I've done that process so many fucking times where I've just tried to overcalculate things, I've tried to get way too much information out of someone, try to figure out why things happen this way, like how I could have prevented it, blah, blah, blah. Like, obviously that's good for growth, but I feel like it also gets to a certain point where you just deal with it for so long, and it just takes such like a mental toll on you as a human being that you honestly have to just get to a point where you want to just fucking live in ignorance, because, bro, it is so much on you mentally to every single day to either be in the future or the past. Like, I feel like I am in either one of those probably 90% of my day.
Why?
Because of just all the shit I've gone through. I feel like just all the experiences I've gone through, all the people that have done me possibly wrong or I've done myself wrong, I just feel like with how much of a burden I carry with all of that, and maybe knowing everything I do know about those situations, that has kind of like led me to either live in the past or the future, because that's the only thing that's ever on my mind. I'm never living in fucking ignorance. I'm always just living never living in bliss, I guess.
Do you feel those burdens can be, like, do you know why you carry those burdens?
I mean,
because of the ignorance, because you want to live in bliss, or what? Why hold on to those burdens? Like, do you ever feel like you can let go?
I feel like, I probably could let go of it, but it's more so just the fact of like constantly wanting to grow is why I don't let go of it. Like, I constantly want to figure out why I was the way I was in those situations, and it's kind of just like replaying the past or thinking about in the future how I can be different than I was in the past.
Yeah, have you tried letting go and that's growing?
You said, have I tried letting go?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, but
I mean,
it always
I
comes back.
get what he's saying too, because sometimes, or I get what both of you were saying, because sometimes you're in this mindset of always trying to know how to do this, how to do that, how to do this. Sometimes it's better to just go for it and not know things and learn along the way.
Exactly.
Like look at the podcast, right? We didn't know how to do certain things, or you didn't really know the editing process of certain things at the beginning. And now look at us. The setup for the podcast is fast. The editing, as long as we're in it and we're dedicated and we're all in the same Discord session and we're kind of throwing ideas off each other and seeing where the flow of the video is going, boom, that's smooth too, right? So you kind of learn over time instead of like having to know everything at the jump and then pursuing it, versus just pursuing it even when you might be ignorant to said topic, but you grow over time.
Yes.
Thing. So I can see both.
I do see both too, because in my film career, I've definitely was like, oh, I can do this. I had no idea what I was doing.
Right.
But I learned as I go. And eventually, all right, yeah, now I know how to set up lights. Now I know how a tripod works. Now I know settings on the camera.
Mm.
When, granted, before I even went to school for it, I was still dabbling with like photography or videography.
Mm-hmm.
All I knew was push play and point the camera.
Yeah.
But I knew, like, I watched so many movies, like I get like transitions and like cuts, and I knew the general consensus, which kind of, my whole film career was a journey in itself. But just the ignorance of the bliss is like not knowing to get to know, because like I wasn't trying to be ignorant. I did want to get to that bliss of knowing how a whole production works. But from the jump, like,
You just had a learner mentality and wanted to just do it.
it's kind of like the fake it till you make it. I hate that. I'm not a fan of that quote.
But it's kind of true, right?
But it like, and it's the situation that you put yourself in
Mm-hmm.
that you want to grow in.
Yeah. And Justin, you kind of talked about it as far as like this topic, but more of like a subcategory of it. Like, do you still have that same thought process of with family members or friends versus how we were with the topic more kind of based around relationships?
I think I'm like pretty solid on it being that ignorance would be like a temporary bliss to things, because I just feel like now, like listening to everyone talk and stuff, that what was I going? Fuck.
You left off on temporary. That was
That ignorance is bliss is temporary. So, fuck, I had it all in my head what I was gonna say, and now it's just gone.
But see, okay, I feel like that's like a perfect example right there, though. Like, he was over-calculating the situation, trying to plan everything in his head, and now it kind of just leads him to a point where it's like,
Go
now
for
this
it.
motherfucker just brought me back into where I was.
but see, that's what I'm saying.
No, because I was gonna talk on you. I feel like what you're doing is that you're seeking out maybe too much information at once, and that's what's fucking you up. And I think that's not being ignorant to like maybe slow down and like seek out information in a healthy way and like take it one by one. Like, oh, I had this issue. Maybe I find out answers to this, seek within, and then
kind of be more structured with it.
So like instead of learning the whole camera, you learn bits of the camera.
You just take
first,
it one by
and
one,
then you
like
learn
chapter by
editing.
chapter.
Like,
Hit the lens first.
Yeah.
then
so
the
like
body,
maybe you're trying to learn editing, you're trying to learn producing, you're trying to learn a whole production in 2 hours when it takes like 5 years.
Yeah, like taking too much on at once.
And now you got what 25 years of experience. Now you're trying to kind of
Do it
solve
all-
it all at once.
yeah.
You're trying to like you're thinking about all your problems of your whole life in like one whole entity, maybe.
And you're still getting more shit added onto your plate in the current time.
That's an interesting point.
Yeah, that's actually a very
See,
good point, because I would definitely agree with that.
I was thinking like about it the whole time, and it's just like as soon as I talk, I was like, "Fuck, it went blank." And then this motherfucker tried me, and I was like, "Yep, you know what?"
I tried him.
He tried to.
Real quick.
Okay.
No, but that was a really good, interesting point of like how much one can handle in the sense of overcoming those burdens.
And see, I think that's probably where my problem lies with why I think being ignorant is sometimes good, because maybe I think it's good sometimes because whenever I don't be ignorant, I take on way too much at one time. Like, it's just a flood. It's never in like a structured scenario.
You gotta get that trickle going. You gotta get the water, the bathroom sink faucet, just a little.
But that goes
Little
right
drip
back
drip.
to it being temporary. Is it really good for you in the long run, or is it just good for you now, and then it's gonna affect you in the long run if you're not like taking care of it and just being ignorant to everything?
I honestly, there was something I really wanted to do. Is I have a bunch of ideas as far as like content wise, like go do vlogs, go do public interviews, or just social experience, or just little prank videos. Nothing too crazy. I don't want to. I'm never in the space of disrespecting people, but more just making people laugh. That includes the person that is getting pranked. Like, as if it's all in good fun, like, yes, right? But another thing I wanted to do is really just like interviewing people and getting people's just thoughts, like not necessarily like the public interview style where like you're going out to the club like, oh, how many bodies, that kind of thing. More of like a one-on-one like actual interview where you're kind of dissecting things. And like I wanted to do that with like a childhood coach of mine or even like my first ex-girlfriend. Like there's a lot of things that like, sure, maybe there's some resentment or bad blood that happens, but I mean at the end of the day there's still a lot of love for people that you fell off with, or that good or bad as far as how the experience went, that you can learn from each other. Because yeah, if you just move on and bury that in the past, that can possibly come up in your next relationship or your next friendship or your next stage in life, right? So I definitely want to like approach that, whether that's on camera or not, just have that conversation and be like, yo, like I have this idea and this picture of like all the wrong that I did to you, or all the wrong that you did to me. Like, what is something that I did to you to where you didn't like that, or things I can improve upon for like the future? Which
I feel that is an amazing concept to like pursue.
Yeah.
I always feel it falls short when the other person is not willing to share.
Yeah, that's the hardest part.
That's the hardest part, is
like they're not willing to have that conversation. They're not open about it.
either they're not willing or they just choose not to because they don't want to confront their own demons.
Yeah. And it's crazy because a lot of people are like that.
Yeah.
And I feel like
because everyone wants to be their best self. No one wants to like.
Do you think that's a maturity thing or like an insecurity thing where it's fear based?
I think it's both.
Yeah,
but
definitely both.
I think it would. I don't know. I want to lean more towards a maturity thing,
Mm-hmm.
but insecurity definitely comes into play to it.
But those two kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah, I would say. Yeah, I could say that too. Like I feel like it's very borderline.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like a small gray area between
And
the two.
Is it also a respect thing to where like you're not worth my time like of having a conversation to?
That's
Right.
like a pride and ego
That's
thing.
like
though.
mature. That's like
That's like
not
maturity,
Being,
yeah.
Not being mature.
Okay,
Yeah.
so like that goes in hand in hand with
Because like
maturity.
yeah.
if anyone have everyone should kill their ego.
Yeah.
Egos are not.
Jermaine Cole said, "Pride is the devil. Things got a hold on me."
I respect people who have an ego, confidence and ego always gets
Mismatched.
mixed match. I feel because I used to always say this, and this is one thing my ex brought up to me that she didn't like, and I was like, I guess that kind of makes sense. I used to always say when I walk into a building, I own the joint. Like
Yeah.
I walk with, and I meant like I walk with confidence. Or I used to say I'm a part-time owner. Like so, all the back when I was in college, I would go to all the clubs. Usually, I know all the bouncers.
Yeah.
And I know I would skip the lines. I'd go straight to the bar. I knew all the bartenders.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, oh, I'm a part-time owner. Like
That's just the
that was
truth type
kinda,
shit, though, right?
That's the thing. It wasn't the truth. I wasn't like when someone was like, "Oh, you're a part-time owner. Like, you own this establishment."
Yeah.
No, but I run this joint.
It's part of the
So-
it's part of the title of being Big Germ, though. It's like
and so
it's like
so that was one thing that in one relationship that I've grown from is like I want to present myself as confident that like I know people, I'm well off in this area or this environment, but I would come at it in a very high ego. Like,
Do you think that comes off as
I'm
like a douchey
high.
way?
I didn't think so, but other people thought so, which made me think maybe is it? What do you guys think?
Depends on how you say it.
If I go into a club and I'm like, I'm a part-time owner, like let's get in, like, and we skip the line. We go straight to the bar, and we get like shots like before people were waiting.
You know what? I think that comes down to just people's perception of just what they've seen in their life. But I also think it has a lot to do with your tone and the way you say it. Like if you said it sarcastically, yeah, I'm a part-time owner.
I would be like, I would sarcastically say it very seriously.
Cause like, dude,
If that makes
like if
sense.
you were to walk into like if we were to walk into a club with you and you just walk past the bouncer and you're like dapping everyone up, you wouldn't even have to tell me. I'd be like, yo, Big Jim owned this place.
Yeah,
like,
he got it like
that's
that.
just the truth.
I
right?
feel like if you're not disrespecting or harming anyone
Yeah.
with it, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not really that
And that's
big
the
of a
thing.
problem.
I wasn't just, and I usually 6 times out of 10, I did know the owner, and like we were somewhat close. Like I had a shot with them. Like it's more than half the club can say.
yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think maybe if you were like boasting about it, that I could see people having a problem with that. But the fact that you're like just stating it as more of like a
I guess I would boast it at times, but I would just do it with multiple establishments, just because I was confident in those environments that I could do things that other people couldn't. So
yeah, it boils down to perspective. Because like I'm really big on athletics, to where like I get inspired by athletes of all sports, right? So you got guys that are willing to say they're the greatest, right? Like a Cristiano Ronaldo, a John Jones, a Floyd Mayweather, those
Kobe
kind of guys.
Bryant, LeBron James.
You have guys that are willing to say that they're the best. And like, is it wrong for them to say that? If they aren't, then they're in the conversation, right? I think if there's truth to it, I don't see anything wrong with it, and especially it doesn't define all of who they are, right? Like you saying you own the spot, that doesn't encompass your entire personality and who you are as a person. That's just one instance of like a joke you do, to where it comes off as half true, right? Where all good jokes contain true shit. Wink, wink. But like at the end of the day, that's not you being a little bit more confident than the usual person doesn't make you a dickhead, right?
So, well, my question was like, do you guys consider that statement more confidence or more ego?
I'd say confidence. But I mean,
I would
I
say
feel like-
confidence too. I don't think that's very egotistical.
depending on how you word it, though, it can be taken out the wrong way.
It really comes down to tone. Like I
think-
feel like that's really all it comes down to.
Yeah, it's just how it's used,
Like,
honestly.
like if you were to say that to someone that was in line, right? Like, oh, I own this place.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
like, if
exactly,
They're
yeah.
waiting,
I
that's
wouldn't
fucked
do,
up.
I wouldn't do that. I would be with my group and be like, I'm a part-time owner. Come on, guys. Like,
yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, that's like something to where like
I'm not.
they know
I'm
it's
not
a
like,
joke.
I'm a
Yeah.
part-time owner. Like, you're getting kicked out. Like, even though that.
Even though that did
You said I might have done that.
Oh, so the truth
Yeah.
comes out, huh?
Well.
You know what Dimitri said? There's always Germ's story, the other person's story, and the story, huh? So this is the story.
Well,
there
this
was
is Germ's
There
story,
was
but-
valid reasons. Well, one, it was my house. Well,
Okay.
that I'm just.
You
trying-
did own that place.
He was a part-time
I
owner.
was a part-time owner.
I pay rent, bitch.
Someone tried to pee in the corner. Like I threw a party during college. Someone whipped out their fucking dick and thought my corner
Could've come in my
table
mouth.
was a bathroom.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
I fucking donkey kicked his ass out. I was like, no, get out.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I don't see nothing wrong with that.
Like, and
I'm trying to
like he was also saying, it comes down to, or I think Justin said, it comes down to a respect thing. Like,
But like, I didn't own the house. I was renting it.
doesn't
So, like-
matter.
so,
It's
like,
still your, like
You
you're
pay
still
rent here, bro.
a tenant in the house and you're paying rent.
You're a
Like,
part-time owner.
yeah, exactly.
Like
So-
I can't just start throwing his blender around like you rent this shit, bro. Like, you don't even own this shit.
Wait, you rent your blender?
This
Yeah.
guy.
I gotta return it.
wait, straight up?
The lease is over in 2 months.
Oh
He
wait,
said straight up. Yes, Jeremy. He rents it.
shit.
That's my
Can I
blender.
rent it next month? Oh wait,
Okay,
really?
go ahead.
Shit.
You just gotta clean
I
it.
gave it to him like right when I first met him.
I think that's a breach of contract,
fire.
honestly.
Nah, I'm playing.
I'm gonna get sued.
Oh, that was good. That was good,
Did you
good,
wrap up your
good.
thoughts on it too? As far as we kind of went off the rail a little bit, but
Yeah, we're going ignorance and confidence and ego. I don't even know how we got into confidence.
I mean, yeah, I pretty much wrapped up.
okay. And yeah, just rolling into our next topic, I wanted to talk about. It was actually one of Kyle's brainstorm topics. He has a shit ton of ideas in his notes, you know. And,
big old brain.
It was
Big ol' brain.
What was it? It was
Brainstorm.
Big head.
it was about
freeze.
I can't fully.
No, you know
recall it.
Jimmy Neutron?
Oh, where he like fucking goes into like
Yeah,
he
bra-
says-
just fucking.
Does he say brainstorm?
Yeah, right.
Oh,
I don't
there's
think-
actually an actual storm in his brain. Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
think he
yeah.
says
I
brainstorm.
think he does, right?
Bro,
There's like
don't
lightning
make-
strikes
don't
in his
make me
head.
look-
I didn't.
It's the
I don't know.
it's the
I thought it
neurons
was-
going on.
Don't ask me.
But yeah, it was like
Brain blast. It's brain
Yeah, I'm about to say,
blast.
there's no way it's brainstorm. Like, I feel like brainstorm.
I literally brain blasted myself. I didn't even look it up. I just had to like brain blast. Jimmy Neutron.
But yeah,
meme.
I can't
Insert.
fully like. I can't.
What the fuck was my topic? Hold on.
It was-
Let me pull this shit out.
It
real
was
quick.
about holding yourself back about doing something. But
Oh, you know what it was? It was
Oh, the fire,
like,
the fire
it was,
one.
No, it was like avoiding your problems,
It's
running
the very
away from
bottom,
your
It's
problems,
the very bottom.
running away from your problems, and not wanting to face them head on.
Okay, yeah. So
So what about that? Do we?
I feel like that kind of ties into what Justin was like discussing, as far as like the ignorance is bliss thing, where he's kind of saying like temporarily it's good, but eventually like I'm gonna probably have to deal with what I'm trying to like ignore, and really start to dive into it and start to unpack it.
Why are you ignoring it in the first place? Because you're afraid of the truth.
Probably, I would say probably, and also just because it's very mentally and emotionally draining. Like I feel like there's other things I want to focus on right now. I don't really want to focus, I guess, on my emotions at the moment. Like I'm trying to focus on other endeavors rather than just in myself. So I think I probably just go through periods of dealing with my problems, which is probably not a good thing.
That
but
boy got period.
That's time of the month, eh?
yeah, it's that time of the month.
It all makes sense.
That's why you're wearing red.
Oh yeah, that's why I've
I got a
been.
little red
It's
on
Shark
me,
Week.
too. I was a little close. We were touching
I
elbows.
digress. I digress.
That's why I've been in my femme era.
Hey, T Swizzy.
Buying all this
She's hot
girly
right now.
shit.
Her and Travie Patty.
Okay,
Trappy
I
Patty.
digress.
They're raiding everywhere.
Sorry, you were saying avoiding problems.
Like I was saying, yeah, I don't know. I personally feel like I was on that wavelength kind of recently, but I think I'm kind of getting back to the point where I'm starting to deal with my problems head on. But that shit's hard as fuck.
Are you
That shit
only
is-
running away from your emotional problems, or are there any other aspects in life that you're kind of
No,
running away
I'm
from?
definitely running away from like physical problems as well too. Like
Mm.
probably probably like as far as creative endeavors like my clothing brand, I've been running away from that for a decent amount of time, trying to get back into that. As far as like the gym, like I struggle with that every now and then as well too. Like skateboarding, I've literally said that I wanted to do that on like episode 3 or 4, and I literally have not even
How
done
long
that
ago
yet.
was that?
Bro, like fucking a month or two ago,
Shit, yeah.
and I still haven't done that. And it's just like I keep putting these things on the fucking back burner, but then with all the time I have to actually go do those things, I'm just fucking off. Like I'm not doing anything.
So I mean, priority wise, like, what is out of all those things? What is like the one thing you really want to dive into and focus on, like, and just lock in?
I mean, I would love to lock in to my clothing brand.
I think that's the best step to go at it.
So
It's just
to lock into it,
Yeah.
are you feel like you have to design a shirt, promote it? Like I feel like maybe you're trying to take in too much.
Yeah.
Why don't you just do one? Like I was gonna say for skateboarding, for example, like after this pod, go hit a ollie.
Go ahead, a fucking ollie.
Yeah, and then just be like, I skateboarded today, and then the next day another ollie or 2 ollies, and then that's just 1% beats 100%.
I'll come from the psych ward and then I'll drive straight here and you're gonna hit an ollie, and then I'm gonna go home.
That's it. Just need
I'm
physical
just
proof.
saying, if you think, what do you think about making progress in a physical, like making progress in fashion or with your clothing brand?
Yeah.
How do you see progress in that?
Like, what's the first step?
I think, well, before I even say that, I think my problem is I'm an all or nothing type of person. So my first step would be to fucking do everything at to do like 3 things at one time. Like I would have to like start the design, get 50% of it done that day, fucking find more pictures of it before I get off, come up with like another idea. Like it's never one task. It's always like, no, I need to do 5 tasks of it today.
I'm gonna illustrate the most beautiful picture here.
Yeah.
Parallel this, okay?
Mhm.
Remember that one time where we wanted to get a video pushed out for TikTok, and I was like, all right, Kyle, I know you're in Discord right now. I know you're watching my screen share, but it's gonna be really fast. I'm just gonna jump straight into it. And I said, boom, 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 boom. And I started editing. You're like, oh my God, I can't follow what you're doing. And you're like, I'm getting anxiety attack right
Yeah.
now. And like, I'm able to do it that fast because I've been editing for so long. And I'm like, needs to cut, this needs to cut, and I'm just going and I'm getting it done as fast as possible. But do you think I could do that with every single episode?
No.
Fuck, no, I can't. I need to break it down, get it all chopped up, get it the timeline, get the flow of things right, and then focus on the end part. But the fact that like I want to just dive in all or nothing, get this shit done as fast as possible and efficiently as possible, I think you are spreading yourself too thin. Where it's like, fuck it, you want to just get into the clothing brand thing, just focus on the designing. You don't even have to start making things yet. Get some designs that like are really inspiring you and just jot them down, write them, like doodle a little bit, maybe look at some posts on Instagram. Don't get inspired for too long, because then you're not creating, right?
Yeah.
But just get the beginning steps on to where you're like, oh, I like where this design is going. I'm gonna keep this here. I'm gonna keep designing, and I'm gonna keep like trying to just create, right? And once you get to a design is more concrete and a thought out full design, then shit, maybe start trying to approach the steps of like making it and creating it and showing us. Not even like wanting to push it out, just having us as like a sample group, a sample size of like, how does this look? And we'll check it out type shit, you know? Because I mean, I've honestly been neglecting the creative side of things too with like my channel, but I'm just kind of doing what I can do at times where, hey, we're gonna go take pictures for you and take pictures for me too, and just like go thrifting, right? Yeah. I'm like, fuck it, I'll bring my camera. Let's. I'm gonna do a vlog real quick. Haven't got started on that edit yet, but at least I was doing the motions of starting it. And then same thing, even though I'm not editing that video, I'm editing the gaming page where it's like I'm getting that video chopped up and it's almost done. It's like I literally need like one more clip left, so all that takes is just watching the clip and just finding where I want to end it. And once I put subtitles and effects and stuff and make music choice and how the intro is going to go, boom, that video is done. It's like 80% complete right now. And that's the first video I'm going to post for that channel, you know? So I think just getting a blueprint and just a foundation started of as far as reamping your production goes, I think that's the way to approach it. Because, I mean, that's what we did with the gym type shit, you know? You just got to start small.
So, like, everything you're saying is literally what I do. Like, I play through in my head, and I tell that to myself in my head, like, okay, like, just take a step by step. Like, let's do this first. Let's maybe just, like, watch, like, a few movies or something like that. Or play, like, a few video games. Like, do something to, like, get the creative juices flowing. Yeah. And just start from there. Start, like, a foundation. And then from there, maybe I start to go out and thrift more. Like, I did that today, and I was like, I found inspiration as far as, like, the type of style I like. Like, I'm kind of getting back into, like, enjoying streetwear again and enjoying fashion, like finding my niche when it comes to it. And I've been taking these slow steps to kind of get back to that point where I'm building myself up to get back into, like, doing my clothing brand. Yeah. But I also feel like my problem is I know all this information and I know it's, like, slowly working, but I'm so stuck in the mindset of how you are with your editing where, like,
it's gotta be perfect.
It's more like just an all or nothing type of thing where it's like I want to do everything at once. Like, I'm just so mentally trained to be that way, and I've just been that way my entire life where I want to know the answers. I want to get this done right away. Like, I don't want to procrastinate on that. Like, it needs to be done by this time. I want to have this amount of things done by then. This needs to be posted by then. Like, this has to be done in a certain amount of time. I have to sleep this amount of hours. Like, it's a constant fucking, like, just cycle in my head of, like, everything has to be so meticulous and so instantaneous. And my problem is just slowing down. Yeah. And I'm really just trying to figure out, like, what is the way to start slowing yourself down for someone who has always been just so on the go in, like, their entire mind about everything.
Well, I'll say this. I feel like hearing all of that and knowing what you're capable of, right? Because you guys say that the same thing about myself, right? Like, just hearing everything you just said about, like, the beginning stage of it, that's progress in itself, right? Like, when I first picked up the gym again with you guys, this is me. I was consistent in 2022, and I jumped back in it with you guys. I'm not lifting hella crazy weight. I'm like, damn, like, I'm really pushing lightweight right now, you know? Like, and then just over a period of time to just staying consistent, I was able to make bigger steps, right? So I feel like, yes, maybe you're more capable of, like, doing it all at once. That's what you're capable of at your highest capacity. But the fact that you're even making beginning progress is good enough in itself, right? Like the fact that you got that one T-shirt you just showed us, maybe you'll start seeing designs from that T-shirt. You're like, this can go on this Awkward Presence hoodie or this T-shirt, and that's, even though it might not seem like nothing, a lot of things that were really like influential came from nothing or out of nothing. Right. That glitter is.
That shit was different.
Right.
I haven't seen shit like that before, and I don't know. That should like definitely spark something. I'm like, damn, like I would never rock something like that probably in the past, but for some reason that shit just caught my eye, and I fucked with it, and I was like, okay.
Imagine adding your own sauce to that with your logo. I feel like you never know where that can go.
Different colored glitter.
Red glitter.
Boom.
Pink glitter.
Busser green glitter.
Busser green glitter.
Type shit.
But no, like you're right. Like it is small steps, and I think I don't know. I guess it's hard to see it from my perspective.
How do you design? Like pen and paper on
I go straight into Illustrator. I don't like. I'll go on the internet.
So mostly everything's on the computer.
Does Illustrator have an app on phone? Or
yeah, but I
use,
can't do
Canva?
shit on phone.
Oh.
I have to do it on the computer. Like I don't have the patience to fucking swipe back and forth and use my fingers for everything. I'd rather just use a mouse.
Because the only thing I was gonna say is
stylus gang.
Right,
like a little stylus.
Have you guys ever heard Atomic Habits? Or the book? Have you guys heard of the book Atomic Habits by James
Heard
Clear?
of it.
I've heard it. I need to buy it. That's next on my list.
If you want to rent it, you can rent it.
The lease.
I'll take
the lease. There it goes.
I'll use the money from the blender that I'm running.
I need the contract signed. But regardless, I read that book, and it talks about breaking bad habits and creating good habits.
Okay.
And it's all about accessibility. So let's take like the example they use is smoking cigarettes. So if you want to stop a bad habit, and bad habit is smoking cigarettes, make it less accessible.
Yeah.
So if you have a pack of cigarettes, take all the cigarettes out and only leave like 3 in there, and then like hide them in hard to reach places. Like the rest, and like, but if you're really craving one, you can like go, but like just making it less accessible. So that's one, breaking a bad habit,
right? And
then to counteract, making a good habit more accessible. So like where you keep those 3, or actually no. So breaking a bad habit, making it less accessible, and then making a task for like an undesirable task to smoke that cigarette. So I buy a pack of cigarettes, I remove all but 3, and I put them in hard to reach places.
Yeah.
Anytime I want to smoke a cigarette, I have to do 100 push-ups, or I have to read 10 pages in a book.
Okay.
So you're creating a good habit with that bad habit. Like, okay, like I got to read 10 pages of a book if I want to smoke 1 cigarette.
Right.
And so, like, that's building on a good habit. And then you make books more accessible. Like, you find a bad habit and a good habit, and you kind of, like, stack it on each other to, like, break each other down and build each other up.
Okay, I got you.
So, like,
and then eventually the good habit should overtake the bad habit?
Correct. And I want to say he says, like, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 3 days. It's been a while since I read it. But basically, what's something you desire?
Something I desire?
Like, what's your smoking cigarette?
Love.
Like loving yourself, or
No.
like no
Love.
What's
Love, Germ.
Love and affection, Germ, like from a person.
Neck kisses.
I'm saying
Chest circles.
I need chest circles.
Why did that taste like red velvet cupcake?
That was great.
Regardless, I digress. What is something you do on a daily basis that you enjoy?
That I enjoy.
On a daily basis.
On a daily basis.
So
That's
you go thrifting a lot, or would you say that's?
I wouldn't say I do that on a daily basis. No,
It's a pretty expensive hobby.
a little bit
Or habit.
sometimes.
like eating like your good food, or like what's something you do on a daily basis that is like something that brings you
Pleasure.
and endorphins.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. It's sad to say, but I probably haven't done anything on a daily basis in a while that makes me happy.
All right, what's a bad habit?
You in the gym?
Do you have a good habit?
A good habit?
Or a good habit you want to start? Oh, the good habit is designing. That's what I was getting at. The good habit is designing.
I would say
What's a
yeah.
bad habit?
a bad habit, probably social media.
Okay, so every time you want to go on social media,
Yeah.
you have to do 10%, or you have to do a design. So anytime, so before you get on, what's your go-to? Instagram, TikTok, Facebook,
Probably Instagram.
MySpace?
MySpace? Oh my God. What am I, fucking 35?
Hey, you ain't too
Listen,
far behind this man right
listen,
here.
I know my 26th birthday's coming up. I'm not that old, Germ. Fuck.
Anyways.
You're old enough to have a MySpace, though, right?
I did have
Instagram.
one.
You did.
I did have a MySpace,
Okay,
but yes,
okay,
Instagram.
okay.
What was your top song?
My top song? Oh, fucking Miss Murder by AFI.
I think mine was like Linkin Park or something.
Yeah. That was the era, though.
Hey,
Yeah, it was sick. It was so sick.
2007 Megan Fox.
Or like Lil Jon.
Lil Jon. Hell yeah.
Like, yeah. Anyways.
Anyways,
Town.
Instagram. Yes.
Before you open Instagram, like if you want to open Instagram, you have to open Illustrator first.
Just open it.
Yeah. That's a start.
Honestly,
That's
yeah,
a start.
that's progress.
Yeah. That's a
Interesting.
start.
Okay.
Just to get in
Because
your
imagine
mind.
you went on Instagram and you didn't even open Illustrator.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
That's not even starting. So to
like going on Instagram while you're
That's
opening
the-
Illustrator is bad.
That's the 1%.
Okay.
Right.
So
You just need to charge up.
next time you want to go on Instagram, I gotta open this Illustrator first.
Damn. Okay.
And then Illustrator's already open. You're getting inspiration from Instagram. Boom.
It's like your notes app on your phone, but just directly to the page.
Interesting. So,
So-
what if I just delete Instagram though?
It's more power to you. Open Illustrator more.
That
Get
works.
Does that mean I
Illustrator on your
delete
phone.
Illustrator?
that works too, but that also is, to Justin's point, running from the problem and burying it. Because what
Yes.
happens when you
True.
install it again?
Yeah, you're
Right?
right.
You're going to catch up on everything you missed.
Then
and
you're gonna have
you
to
get
scroll through on all the Germ memes and the Dimitri memes. Like, what?
No, you know what that actually worked with though? TikTok. I literally do not use TikTok unless we're posting shit. Like I
Yeah.
don't go through TikTok at all.
I don't. Yeah. Even
But I
neither do
deleted it like for like 6 months.
Which is good.
And
It's good to not have it accessible as well too.
And now you're journaling about it.
yep, and now I'm journaling about it.
What about you, Justin?
Just for the 1% thing and Breaking Bad, I would try and do design.
No, you're right.
I would go that route.
I think
Or
you
I
just-
would. Yeah.
I 100% agree with that. Like I really do, and I support that as well. I just
But you're not going to do it. Like
no,
what's
I'm not going to say I'm not going to do it. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
I know the type of person I am, and that is my biggest problem is knowing that I am an all or nothing person, and I'm trying to work on that. And that is probably the hardest part to break.
That's the whole situation.
I know, but it's just fucking
Well, here,
so
Just try it.
hard.
Just try it.
I'll do this.
Just try
I'll
it.
do this for you. Stop comparing yourself to the best version of yourself that you ever had. Compare yourself to who you are yesterday. Try to beat that person. And if
What does that mean?
no. Hey, hear me out, Jerm.
Yeah,
Right?
What if
yeah,
I was
yeah.
the best
So-
version of myself yesterday?
So hear this, right? Hear this, Germ, right? So
I
like you
will
talked
say.
about having Illustrator open and before you open Instagram, right?
Okay.
The next day you open Illustrator and you went on Instagram. Now you have to beat that. Now you have to work on Illustrator before you go on Instagram. Then the next day, now you have to beat that. You have to design something. Oh, you designed something? Now you have to beat that.
Yeah, that's the whole point of the 1%.
Right.
You continually
so
to like.
that's
build
all I
the
said.
habit.
I'm just building on your point, and you said, I'm like, dog, I'm on the same side.
Well, the only reason I said is.
I fucking love you, Jerm. But come on, dog.
No, because you were saying something about comparing yourself to the future and the past.
I was
maybe,
saying,
maybe
I was
misheard,
saying that
or I
he's
jumped the
comparing
gun.
himself to the best version of himself, where he knows he's capable of doing all these things at once. But currently himself, he cannot do that. He needs to be better than the version he was yesterday. He just needs to make progress. He needs to just continue being a better Kyle for the next day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was the whole.
Which is what I was saying. Is I literally said going off of Germ's point is like I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, he was agreeing with you, and you just attacked him.
I didn't attack him.
You stitched me.
I took it
That's
out
not
of
the
context.
first one.
I took it out of context because I thought you were
yeah.
saying, don't be the best version of yourself.
That's why I slowed you down.
Yeah.
You know, I try
Hey.
to slow you down.
Context, man.
Right. And,
context is king.
And
Context, you're right.
And Justin,
I want to ask Kyle,
Yeah?
are you treating your clothing design more as like a task that needs to get done or something that you actually enjoy to do on a daily basis?
That needs to get done.
That's the problem right there.
That
Yeah.
is exactly my
if
problem.
you treat it like a chore, you're not gonna do it.
exactly,
Type shit.
I'm fucked up.
So,
And Justin, just listening to us and hearing us all out, like, what are you kind of doing as far as approaching obstacles that you are kind of running from? Are you doing this?
The same shit as Kyle. Me and Kyle are living the same life.
Yeah.
Okay. And for you, what is like your first step of like, you know what, this is what I want to do? Like, what are some of those things that you want to do, and how are you going about approaching it from the future?
I mean, like we've said prior, I guess the first step is being aware of it.
Uh-huh.
My first step to actually getting it done is just fucking stop being a bitch. Just do
I
it.
thought you were just going to stop it. Just fucking. Just
Just fucking.
Start fucking.
Yeah.
being a bitch about what?
Everything. Literally everything.
Okay, so like right now it's in a broad statement. You want to kind of narrow it down, and we'll start just dissecting it and kind of start looking at steps to approach each subject as far as what are the things that you want to pursue and what are you running from right now?
I mean, I'm definitely like what I would want to pursue is music, like I've said before in this podcast on a couple episodes ago. What I'm doing to do that is absolutely nothing, just avoiding it. Music to me, it requires a lot of inspiration, and I'm not really doing much like outside of work and just playing video games or being on my computer and not seeing much inspiration around me or anywhere.
Video games is chock full of music.
Not when you play fucking Valorant. That shit is garbage.
That brain rot.
I don't know.
Garbage, toxic.
I don't think I've
Gaming
ever-
brain rot.
I don't think I've ever played
that's a brain
Valorant.
rot.
Yeah, you probably haven't. It's a new game.
But I mean,
Not for the
New-
boomers.
They ain't no new game.
but I mean, you know the steps to do it is just getting out there and like
just
like popping up to more functions and just going out with people more often, right?
putting myself out there more, honestly.
Mhm.
Now,
Just doing more things.
When you say music, you're not saying you're more lyrically versus like
no.
sound.
I don't do like sound or anything.
See, I
just
keep
like,
on thinking sound.
Do you get
No.
inspired by listening to other music
yeah, I would say
Like-
so.
while you're like listening to like certain albums that dropped? Like, there's not any kind of flows that you kind of hear and you're like, oh shit, I wonder what I could do with this.
That's the thing is like,
Because that's something you could do from your room, you know?
as of lately, there's like just no new music that I've like been drawn to, and like that's really inspired me. And like
You didn't hear that new Kanye?
I did.
You didn't
There's
like
only
Burn? You didn't like Burn?
I only I listened to it at the gym, but
Okay.
Carnival's pretty good.
Burn is fire.
shit-
Carnival?
Carnival
I
hits.
actually need to
Hi,
listen to that again.
Miss Westy. I'm your
Bestie.
bestie.
No, not the
Jam
Northwest.
right there.
She had a better verse than Drake's son, Adonis.
Shit.
His ass. His shit was,
I digress.
Oh, he's like 7.
So is North, right? North is the same age.
We're debating child rappers. Anyways,
Yeah, we
Do
gotta
you
make
have-
sure we
do you have a
keep
favorite-
that.
do you have a favorite
child
artist?
rappers?
Justin?
Favorite artist, Juice World. Sad
R.I.P.
boy shit.
Okay.
So I mean,
Rest in peace, the GOAT.
is there any sad shit that's going on in your life to where like you want to write about it, right? Kind of thing, right?
There's hella
Why,
sad shit,
why does
but
it have to be sad?
Write it down.
Or
type
is
shit.
Juice World, or like, why does it have to be sad? Why
Juice
not
WRLD
happy?
is mad sad. I mean, he has some
well,
happy
you know, there's
shit.
definitely some hype shit, but
He has some hype shit that is like it's like sad shit behind a happy
Yeah,
background
no,
though.
for sure.
like he might be disguised as happy. It's like happy sometimes, but it's still sad.
Do you write lyrics before you hear a beat, or do you
Nah.
do you hear a beat and then write lyrics?
hear a beat and then write lyrics.
And are you like ever
Have you
surrounding
ever tried to switch? Sorry,
Yeah,
have
go
you ever
ahead.
tried to switch it
I used to do that. Like when I first started, I would just write lyrics.
and
Mm.
then
no
like try
beats.
to find something here?
Yeah, it's really hard for me just because like hearing a beat will draw inspiration to a lot of things for me.
But I mean, one thing you could do about that is write poetry, like actual poetry and
Haikus.
no,
I fucking
like dead
love
ass. Like
haiku.
that's what rap is.
That
right?
poetic
No, yeah, for
riz.
sure.
And you literally can just get inspired through poetry, and now you can find music that's at the same beats per minute, right, as that poem, and like you could just throw it in there. Throw that eight line verse on there, and it's just a haiku or something.
There is this dude on Instagram I follow, and he breaks down words per beat, but he breaks down like different rhythms of like
how they flow on it.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. I can't break it down like but so maybe learning. Would you like to learn more of the music side of it? Because I feel like learning notes and like hearing melodies coincide with lyrics.
When I first started like getting into music, I actually first wanted to start like producing beats and shit, and I actually did for a little bit. Mm-hmm. I just fell out of it after I like actually started recording music and doing like the more lyrical thing, just because I focused more on that, because it was like something I wanted to do more than the producing. But I mean, there's so much things I could be doing to progress in my music, and I know that like I can make good shit.
Yeah.
And I'm capable of doing that. You definitely heard that good shit.
Not even the other shit. Like, you played me that one, which is more of like a silly fun kind of thing, which, I mean, if you wanted to, like, if you're just bored and you wanted to make something fun, you can make something like that all the time. But, I mean, the other shit you showed me, like, there's, dude, a lot of different variety that you have, and, like, you're just beginning. You know, it's like, if you're burnt out for certain things, you can just kind of get started in that same umbrella of, like, fuck it, maybe I'll start making a few beats again, see if I get inspired by it. Yeah. And like, oh, now I love how this flows. Like, I feel like I can spit on this. Or I know your older brother, and I know Jose, you guys' friend. Like, I know that they're in that scene as well. Mm-hmm. Like, hopping in the booth with them and just kind of seeing what they're doing, and like getting inspired by their work, and even asking like, hey, can I jump on this? And now there's a fire under you, or like, hey, where's that verse, dude? Like,
yeah, for sure.
I'm trying to get you on this shit. Like, where's it at? And it holds yourself accountable, because people are dependent on you, right? Mm-hmm. So I mean, there's different ways you can go about it. I think Germ's 1% rule still applies to you. I think if you just want to get started, hey, if you want to jump on Valorant or COD, write something, listen to an album, listen to this. You know, just try to get inspired in some way, and just continuing to be better than the you were yesterday.
I would say for the music aspect, if you're going to play Valorant, write a concept of a song, like the mood, like happy, sad, hype, like what genre, like 3 topics: mood of the song, genre, and then fast or slow. And then, like, that's the start. And then fucking get down on 60 kills in Valorant.
I just feel like if it's for me, bro, like, if I'm not feeling happy, I cannot make a happy song.
Right, but what he's saying is it'll be dependent on, like, how your vibe is when you're playing. Like, let's say you just fucking top fragged, and, like, you're on top of the mountain. You could write some shit that's hella confident, and you're just saying, you're the best at this, you're the best at that, I'm going to be here. That, like, you draw inspiration through your experiences. Ooh. Like, you know,
what's a map in Valorant?
What do you mean?
Like just a map?
Do they have maps?
Breeze, Pearl.
Ooh, those are fire.
Fucking Split.
I split your dome in Breeze. see, do you guys drop in like
that
Fortnite?
Boy in the head with Febreze.
My bitch is sitting on a sheet of Pearl.
Is there a gun? You got an AK-49. I got my Vandal. See me in Breeze in the
latest.
I'm hella up.
Scandal.
You just panhandle.
Make a song about Valorant.
I
like,
just got paid $5K for an op.
Might just had to.
just food for thought for breaking habit.
Oh, dude.
See, I feel like the creative juices are already flowing right there. Wait,
that's a bar.
Did I miss a bleep?
Oh, no.
We're gonna have to.
That's a fire bar.
What do you mean that is?
I heard
a bar?
that shit like somewhere. I heard that shit like.
It was on like the Discover Weekly SoundCloud.
Like someone was playing that shit like during a COD lobby, and I heard that shit.
Yeah.
Yo, who was that one guy? We were, like, he had his like Spotify in his name, and
Oh,
then, like we were playing COD.
Fuck, I remember that.
Dude, I was trying to find that clip. I was
Oh,
gonna make a
yeah.
clip of it. I'm like, yo, where is this guy? Like, we reacted to his shit.
Ah, damn, I can't think
Part
of
of me
it
thinks
too.
I deleted the clip, which is sad.
Possibly, or you didn't even record it.
Maybe, I don't know, but that was hella funny. And
That
it-
was.
and his shit was hella
that shit was trash.
Hey, but he did something. Like, he put it out there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, hey, bro, I just want to see you like.
Shit, he got us to see it.
Right, I'm just trying to. I want to get everyone on that page where like we're constantly being productive. and
So
trying,
your
you know?
new Valorant name is Gamiac Convos.
The YouTube link.
Wait, you can put YouTube links on Valorant,
Yeah, you could just
You
like
could do anything,
Your
I think.
name could just be whatever you want it to be. I think
but can it be a
it won't
link?
like actually draw you to
Oh.
it. It'll just-
But they could like copy it if they wanted to, right?
Well, not cop.
They
I
gotta
don't
highlight
know.
it.
Maybe, possibly.
You
I
just
don't know.
Huh.
copy
There
and
you go.
paste it. Yeah.
Anyways,
Are you? So as far as that topic goes, you kind of concrete on everything as far as your thoughts.
I feel like probably my biggest problem is that, like, I draw inspiration from things. I just feel like I get discouraged really quickly too, like while in the process of doing it.
Does that revolve around comparison?
like discouraged from like.
I wouldn't say comparison, more so just insecurity.
Insecurity about what though? Because I feel like insecurity goes along with comparison.
Like, is
no?
it like your is
My-
it your lyricism? Is it what? Is it
Probably
your
my voice.
See, I mean, at the end of the day, like, you,
bro,
you just gotta
see-
put yourself out. Dude, you have 8 episodes. Like, what is it? We're on episode 5 or 6 now. Like, or
Wait,
like
wait.
as far as what we're posting, like
Oh.
your voice has been on this podcast.
Well, I mean,
this
it's
whole
different,
time.
like, than singing and shit like that, like rapping.
Hey, but I
and
mean,
shit.
if
Bro.
it's not like you have a bad voice on all your music. It sounds legit. Where I'm like, yo, this is good.
Yeah.
Like, I'd play this shit like in the car. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
if someone's like, yo, pass me the aux, I'd be comfortable like playing one of your songs and be like, oh, who is that? But instead of versus like, oh, I don't know if I'll play him. You know, I'm confident that I'd play you like in a group of friends and no one really knows who it is and like, yo, yeah, this is my friend. Like, oh shit, he's pretty good. Like, what's his SoundCloud? And then they start checking him out through that. You know.
vice versa to that. I don't like Taylor Swift's voice, but look how popular she is.
That's a hot take.
Hey,
Brewing.
Yeah.
them
I used
Swifties
to.
about to go at
I
you.
used to literally cringe.
It's not a good time.
I used to
Taylor
cringe when I would
Swiftie,
stay
she is
home
my-
and be sick, and I have to see that the cheerleader in the window. What was that one song where she's
It's
in
like
a window?
21 or
You belong
some
with
shit, I
me.
think.
Oh, I think it was 21.
Yeah.
Oh, it's you belong with
I
me.
used to be a Swiftie when I was young.
Oh.
So.
dude. Because she was like
I
the
did not know
nerd girl,
that.
and then she was also played the cheerleader, and like she likes the boy, but the boy likes the cheerleader, but like she's like saying like, oh, this then that.
Yeah.
My
that-
sister,
yeah, okay.
my
Yeah,
sister
they-
was playing
they
that
get the
shit.
picture.
Yeah.
You know the time when Ye went up to her and like
Yeah,
stole the award?
at the Grammys
Yeah.
I
or some
clapped
shit.
I clapped. I was like, thank you. Like, I was an
fuck with
advocate.
Kanye,
See,
but that was fucked up.
He's a fucking closet hater, bro. That's the shit I was talking about.
Closet
That's
hater?
closet hating right there.
He was quiet about the
yeah,
about
see?
the photos.
See, that's what I'm talking
He
about.
was quiet about Power
but that's
World.
okay.
Y'all fucking hate on me for this shit, but this motherfucker's a fucking closet hater. Fuck y'all.
Oh, I'm not a closet hater.
Fuck that shit.
I'm speaking it out to
Yeah, now you are.
He is airing that hate out
when-
right
Yeah,
now.
he is.
When did
Big
I
time.
hide Taylor Swift? I was a fan of Taylor Swift.
You didn't say you hated her though.
You never said you hated
I don't
her.
know. I saw you in a Travis Kelce jersey on Super
I don't
Bowl.
hate
Ah.
I don't hate her. I'm not a fan of her voice. Where other people are.
You're a fan of her other things.
I was cringed at her voice and her videos.
Yeah, she
Okay,
got some
fair
bangers
enough.
though. Not gonna lie to you.
I'm not a hater.
Yeah.
Cleared the air.
She got
said
some
bangers?
bangers.
I think I said
Fucking
fingers.
closet
Whoa,
hater.
I don't know where I was
You've been
going with
watching
that.
too many AI Taylor Swift pictures.
I don't know where I was going with that.
Sounds like
knocked over the audio.
sounds like
Thank God.
projecting over there, Dimitri.
I was talking about her music. He's
Yeah,
like,
Mr. fucking ASMR boy.
So the
Oh,
moral of the story, you got a great voice. Fuck what people think. If you're the only person thinking bad on your voice when people might think it's great.
But where does that insecurity stem from, though? Like, is it?
Did someone say like you have a shitty voice before?
But does it have to do with comparison, though? Because I feel like usually when you're insecure about something, you're comparing yourself to someone else or something else.
I don't necessarily think I feel like you can be insecure about like. Actually, let me think about that. You might be right.
Nah, you're right. Yeah.
I feel like that's like the basis of it. No,
mean,
and I feel like especially with creative stuff as well too. Like that's like probably the number one thing that stops people from doing anything creative is a lot of just comparison in general.
Right. Like somebody like, oh, your
not
car is
even-
whack.
If
Like,
it's not
compared to who,
comparison,
right?
someone is degrading you.
That's still comparison.
That's still kind
because
of
they
comparison.
think you're inferior to them,
Yeah.
which is a comparison. It might be an
Or to
untrue
some-
comparison.
I guess it is comparison.
So-
I mean, maybe not like anyone specifically, like as in like a specific person I'm comparing myself to.
Just
but
kind of what you hear.
yeah, probably just what my ears hear and like comparing myself to the quality that I would like want my voice
Like
to
the
be.
mainstream sound and like
Yeah.
what's popular and
Yeah.
like the things that you hear when you're listening to the
T-Pain,
Spotify. Or,
T-Pain was auto-tuned for his first like 5 albums.
T-Pain's got a beautiful voice
He
without
does.
auto-tune though.
but I mean,
But that's what I'm saying.
does
like,
that not go with
but
yourself?
He's still
that
he had
does
a
not.
he had a
Not
beautiful
singing
voice,
wise.
but he's still
Maybe,
auto-tuned.
I don't know.
But is it like dude, I've heard your melodic shit and like sure maybe there's some autotune, but like you still got the cadence, you still got just the voice for it. You know, I've heard certain verses where like you're just flowing and spitting on shit and you're just doing your thing and having fun. Like like it's not like you don't have the sound or like whatever you're comparing it to or whatever you're insecure about. It's not like you don't have that. It's just taking that step and just saying, you know, fuck this, I got it. Who gives a shit? You know?
Yeah.
Would
'cause,
you
like,
be able to sing right now?
Fuck no.
See, you gotta have that Will Ferrell mentality. I'm singing. I'm in a store and I'm singing.
That just makes me think of Elf when
You
he's
need
like
to
singing
get
in the
Germ on
background.
the
the stew.
What's what are these? The Step Brothers? What song did you say?
Shit.
I don't remember that
I,
one.
I watched that movie multiple times.
I just
but
remember the drum
can't-
set shit.
I can't remember. Yeah.
Acoustics. What song is that? Let me know in the comments.
But yeah, I think you just gotta approach it one step at a time and just kind of care what. Stop. Honestly, don't even listen to yourself because sometimes you're telling.
Sing right now. Fucking sing.
Or after,
Why? Why
Or
not?
after
I
the
don't got
pod.
nothing to sing.
Or after the pod, whatever. You know, just show us some shit on your laptop. You know. But yeah, I think you just gotta approach it how you can and just do the little steps. Because I mean,
I'm singing.
Thank you.
Just for Jeremy.
The 1%.
That's what I'm talking about. That was way better.
Jeremy looked upset when I didn't sing.
Boom. You got good pipes.
That voice sounded like Frank Sinatra.
Whoa.
I was
pause.
about to say I hit my Frank Sinatra fucking.
Bro, you got some Frank Sinatra pipes. Bust them out. Bust out them pipes.
Shit,
Like
I
Mario.
Wow. Bust him down.
yeah, let's all bust about.
Yeah. All right, Kyle, you're next. Sing
This
me a
is
song.
you'll see this clip on OnlyFans. Whoa.
This is
All
behind
right,
a
hold on,
paywall.
we're all singing right now. All right, so go.
What am I just saying? The same thing?
You're
You just
singing.
singing a song.
I'm singing a song.
Ooh, you got the Beyonce. You got them levels.
I got them
What
levels.
was that one
See,
song I was
I
singing?
can't go high pitch. I can go low.
You can go low.
I can sing an octave down here.
Octave down here.
I can't sing like
We
this.
can't sing like this.
See, you got the Beyonce pipes. Y'all got good pipes. Good pipes.
I got that pipe.
Pause, Jerem. Pause.
I'm gonna give Jim that pipe.
That boy had a
That was like a
CPA.
little Celine Dion right there. How low can you
In the
go?
fucking ocean with a great white.
Oh,
All right, did everyone sing? Thank you guys. I appreciate
Of course.
I got
Just
you,
for
Jim.
you.
The
Why
1%.
sell like a snake
that.
bite?
No, just for you.
Just for
Wink,
you.
Yeah, just for me.
Yeah, there
I'll
you
take
go.
it.
Yeah, just approach it one step at a time. Just go through it. You know.
Boom. That was like 3 steps right there. awesome.
You jumped like the whole staircase.
Shit, man.
And honestly, Jeremy, are you kind of like pursuing anything that you want to like that you're kind of been like putting off and you kind of want to pursue it more often or?
Definitely writing my book.
Mm.
I've
How many pages into that are you on? Are you in at right now?
He's killing it, honestly.
Yeah.
I have like 5 chapters,
Yeah.
but they're all spread out. They're not all like chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5. So it's like chapter 1 is like pretty fleshed out.
Yeah.
Chapter 2 is pretty fleshed out, and then I add inserts to chapter 3. Chapter 4 is kind of there, and then it's just like in between. So between it all, probably 8 pages, maybe 4.
Right. But,
I don't know. I haven't checked in a while. There's another thing. I haven't even opened up my Word program. I have a bunch of notes, and I always chime into my notes more than I chime into the actual book, because I always have ideas or inserts that I want to add to my book. and they're always evolving and changing. And I think I had this revelation when I first started writing the book. A few years down the line, like I was like during COVID, I was like, I'm writing a book, I'm going to finish it by COVID and be a published author. Didn't happen. Life started rolling, put it on the back burner, but I would still add to it from time to time again.
Right.
And I look back on an insert that I wrote in the early stages of the book, and I was like, I have a different idea of that, and I changed it. So now back in my mind, I'm kind of like, if I put something now, would my thoughts on it change later? So that's kind of where I'm at on this book that's not finished, that I do want to finish.
So right now, are you putting that as a priority, or is it kind of like a secondary goal that you want to do? Like how important is that on your list of like things you're currently working on right now? Like, and is there anything that you are running from as well?
Currently, like it's probably third on my list. I want it to be top of my list though, because it's the most accessible goal to achieve.
Yeah. So it's like, what is it like? What is kind of like holding that back? Is it like a finances thing, or is it what kind of like? Is it because you're in the moment of like for them, right? We honestly have free time to where they are trying to put it off and not working on it, and there are bad habits that they're working on trying to complete. Do you have a similar thing to that, or is it like, are you preoccupied with certain things to where like it's stopping you from doing that?
No, I definitely have free time to put time into the book. I feel like the whole scenario of me like rethinking a subject that I put in the past and like redoing it is like I'm overthinking too much of like, will this be in the book?
Yeah, but I mean,
and
that's part of the process, though. No,
right? But. And so I do add inserts. And granted, this book is the tagline is a memoir of failures that lead to success. And so I added my failures, and I chime in like what path I've took to lead to success, and describing those paths. I go on different tangents to where I'm like, this needs to go to chapter. I'm very indecisive with how I want to structure each chapter.
Do you think your indecisiveness can be a chapter in itself?
I think it is a chapter. I'm actually going to put that down.
And is it condescending to keep changing it if it's about
failures? Yeah,
and you have to overcome it. Like by making each chapter and each part of the book perfect, you're afraid of that failure in a sense, right? Or no?
It's almost like contradicting what the whole book is about, right?
I wouldn't say it's contradicting. Indecisiveness as a chapter to finishing or accomplishing goals. I wouldn't say it's contradicting. It's because it's part of it.
I do agree in the sense, like I even told you before, whenever we were talking about this, like off the podcast, I do agree with the sense that it's perfectly okay for you to go back and revise certain things because your mind is ever changing. Your thoughts are ever changing. Every single day, every single scenario that you're in could possibly change your mind in an instant. Like your thoughts are never concrete. And I feel like that putting that in the book in itself as a chapter would also be a good idea. But I do understand the fact of wanting to go back and revise certain things to the point where you're at right now.
And the hard truth is, if you keep revising it, you can always make it better. You know what I'm saying? Like a final edit doesn't always have to be the final edit because we could always add a little more sauce to it, you know?
Yeah.
But eventually, if you're going to publish a book, like you're going to have a final edit. And even after you publish that book, your thoughts are still probably going to change about it as well, too. So I think it's just finding the balance of being content with it. And
start a second book.
Yeah,
right.
Or that, too. Yeah, to start a second book.
Revised.
That first book was shit. Don't read it.
Disregard everything in that book.
I digress.
I digress.
Bestseller, but he's beating.
That's the name of your second book. I digress.
Yeah. Did I tell you the title of the first book?
No.
The Moon is Half Naked.
The moon is half naked.
We'll bleep that out so no one steals
That
that
sounds
shit.
sexy.
Yeah. Copyright, trademark.
Yeah. That's bleep.
The R
You ain't stealing shit.
restricted.
Because Big Jim owns that.
Yeah, it's not on a lease. He's not
So,
renting that.
I came up with a title because I was looking at the moon. It was a fingernail. What do you call it? Quarter moon.
Yeah, I know you're talking about like the fingernail looking
But
moon.
it was during the daytime.
Is that rare?
No, it's not rare. It's very common. I was hiking in nature and I was on some.
Well, you see it in
okay.
the DreamWorks logo when he's fishing off that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you could see. But that's the thing. It was daytime, so you saw the whole moon.
Oh.
But only, like you saw the whole moon, but like only a quarter of it was still
like lit up
lit.
by the sun. Yeah,
okay,
If that makes
okay,
sense.
okay.
And I looked at it. I was like, the moon is half naked, which also kind of correlates to like the glass is half full, glass is half empty.
Yep.
And
Okay.
so this is just like my perspective on life. Like these memoirs of failures can lead to success. The success is like half empty, or the failures is half empty, and the success is half full.
Gotcha.
So like, it's kind of a play on half glass, half empty, half full, half glass,
Glass
a
half
glass
full.
half full, glass half empty.
Yeah.
The moon is half naked, and the moon representing like life.
Is that actually a saying? The moon is like a half naked moon? Is that
From Germ.
It is now.
It is now.
No, because I feel like I've heard that before though. Like I feel like I've heard the term half naked
Maybe
moon.
you're like half
or-
naked and like someone was like mooning you.
Could have been that. But I feel like half
There-
naked moon, is that not like an actual term?
There's a half moon.
I don't know why. Like I feel like half naked moon is
That's
an
a-
actual
that's
term.
above my grade
This
grade.
is news to me.
I'm gonna search this bitch up.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
please
see
let
some
me
shit
know.
I don't want to see.
Watch, there's
probably.
already a book out.
I'm gonna see some shit I want to see. That's something I'm working on too.
Oh my god.
So weak.
Oh,
So
oh
weak.
my
I
god.
expect you more than that.
So, yeah, that is one thing I've been struggling to
You're safe.
accomplish or create as a good habit is creating more time specifically for writing the book. Because I have time,
Yeah.
but I usually spend that time editing or
Working.
working or like working out, like other
Doing yoga.
other endeavors. Yeah, yoga, stretching. I've been doing a lot of stretching lately.
That's good. That's good for your body. That
Yeah, and so like I'm very consistent with like physical endeavors.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the goal is like my main goal, produce a movie. Like I have short films that I have scripts for that I want to create. Those are like my long-term goals to like, because I want like a certain amount of budget. I want like the right actors. I want to provide them with the environment and space and tools for them to do their best. I have this goal that I want to be a published author, and by specifically writing this book that I've been writing since 2020. Lately, I've also been focused. It's kind of sad how much I didn't value being a relationship versus now I value companionship with like a significant other more. You know that saying, you don't know what you got until you lose it?
Yep.
Yeah, type shit.
Ugh. I fucking hate that saying, but it's so true.
Yep.
I don't want to say hate. I am,
Just like
yeah, I am indifferent against the idea of losing something and you don't know what it is when you have it.
Yeah.
So to that point, I've been focused on like trying to find a relationship to like either match my last relationship or like match the best qualities of my last relationship.
Yeah, it's a little healthier because it's bad to kind of do that. The first part of what you said, you know, because then it's like that person will never live up to that person. You know, like the next person won't live up to the person you're comparing it to. Yeah,
Which I feel like I did my last relationship with my first relationship. Like I expected these expectations of what I got in my first relationship, kind of expected them in my next relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And that could have been a factor of why things altered or faltered in certain ways on my part. and it all boiled down to communication of like wants and needs.
Yeah.
Which I kind of touched on maybe a couple episodes back, but so yeah, I've been focusing on like trying to find a relationship, and it's not in the best ways.
Yeah.
Like whether it be dating apps and
It's kind of
not
sad
organically.
to reply to that is like, like you talk about the good about it, right? I honestly like don't even have anything like good to compare the next one to, because like it's the only times things have been good is the short term. Like in the long term, they like just something changes about the person or just the way things go about the relationships, where it's like it's not what it was at the start, and it's not authentic.
What do you consider long term?
For me, the longest relationship I've ever been in is a year. Like I haven't gone past that. Like,
I've never
or
been
not even a
over
year, like 10 or 11 months.
3
which I mean-
years.
okay, yeah. So I mean, yeah, when I see stuff like that go down, I'm like, wow, like you guys, people older than me or even younger than me, have gone through experiences to where they've been with someone and been had a shared experience for a long period of time, and it still went wrong. Versus like, you know, like I compare like, yeah, sure, that first long-term relationship, and then just other short kind of situations that could have been relationships, but obviously they were unfortunate circumstances to where like someone moved away or this happened, and it was a convenient thing that this happened, and it ended things for the sake of myself. But
Like
I don't
high school sweethearts, but then they go
kind
off
of
to
thing,
college.
yeah. So it's like those things to where like it's a what if kind of thing, you know, where it's like.
No. And then I look at other situations. I've heard stories of like 7, 10, 12-year relationships, married, kids, house,
Scary.
cars,
Yeah.
all down the drain or going down paths that they didn't see
Yeah.
for each other, and whether they still talk to each other or not, or like let bygones be bygones, that relationship still faltered. So I always see.
Do you think there's a
That
lot of
silver lining?
fear mongering going on with like today's generation, where like that's always pushed in our face to where like this relationship isn't gonna work because of that, and like pushing this kind of hookup culture and like
When you say this generation, you mean like
just society as
like
a
an
whole.
age group? Well,
Gen Z.
society as a whole, and this generation kind of different.
Okay, well, how?
I would say the age range of 18 to 30 years old.
That's a big range.
Not really.
Gen Z to
22 years,
12 years.
12,
That's not that much.
12 years.
WMAS.
18-year-olds to 30-year-olds. I feel like that's very much the same generation. If not the same generation, it's extremely close.
Because yeah, some of those generations are just little brothers or little sisters of that generation type of shit, you know.
Because like his,
When I think generations, I think boomers, millennials, Gen Z.
Because I mean, okay, like
all right.
the age gap between me and my brother and my sister is, so it's 2 years for me and my brother, and it's like 3 years for me and my sister. Like, yeah, my sister's younger than me, and yeah, my brother's older than me, but like we've gone through similar experiences, just in different varieties or different alternatives. You know?
So my little sisters, we're all 4 years apart. So my older sister is like 34, and my little sister is like math 26.
So you're technically in
Ish.
different age groups, or
Yeah,
no?
but I'm saying that's I would consider that a generation 26 to 34,
Hmm.
and then so 18 to 24 would be a more
Yeah, that is the actual age
I
group.
mean, the way I see it though is like
18 to 30 is like that's a big gap. I think 18 to 24 would be a more.
I don't
solid
really think that's a
idea.
But do you think that the 18-year-olds are influencing what is shown to us as far as how we're seeing things in social media, how we're seeing things on the media, or is that push from the older generation and just documenting what's going on now? I think it's all an umbrella of everything to where like people nowadays and just the culture
I
and
look at
society of
There's
things.
60-year-olds. Do you guys follow that retirement home? There's like 60-year-olds that do the TikTok dances.
no.
Have you not seen that?
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh, they're good. They're so funny. It's a bunch of old people. Like, you know how like the TikTok stars, they all had like their
Yeah.
TikTok houses, like the Hype House or the.
Yeah.
there's a retirement home where there's just a bunch of 60-year-old TikTok stars.
That's funny as fuck.
They're
gas.
hilarious. So what was the point to this generational social question?
You talked about how a relationship of like in between 4 to 12 years can just crumble, and I was just saying, do you think that there's a lot of just fear mongering as far as what's being pushed on like the younger generation, that like, oh, hookup culture is good and we shouldn't look for long-term relationships and it's not going to end well because of divorce and this and this and this and
I feel
that.
like it's vice versa.
Right? Do you think that's do you think that's constant? That's one of the biggest reasons of why like things are not working out in the long term nowadays, or what do you think? It's just culturally.
When I meant 4 to 12 years, like I'm saying, like
how long?
20-year-olds. So they'll be like 30, mid 30, 40 people now. 10, 12 years ago, they started their relationship.
Yeah, and I'm not disagreeing with you there.
Okay.
I'm just saying a relationship that was that long ends because of just. Do you think it's just like things don't last anymore because of the way society is now, culturally and stuff, or what?
No, I think it's because socially back then, people were forced or highly like get married, have kids, get a job. Like I feel like the social generation of and like why there's like the divorce. Do you guys know the divorce rate is like crazy
super high right now.
Yeah. Isn't it like
I feel
60% or something?
It's more than that, right?
I think it was like
I saw
Especially in
a
America.
number somewhere somehow, and I was like, no way. And then I like Googled it. I was like, damn. I was like, it's like 57 or 67.
yeah. I thought it was
that.
like 54 at one point, and then it's probably now somewhere.
I would
even
be
more
surprised
than
if
that.
it's more than that.
Regardless, and granted, this was probably like a year. Divorce rate was high for people like 30 to 40s
Mm-hmm.
or 20 to 40s. Let's say that.
Yeah.
I feel because when they first started their relationship, way back whenever, it was more prone to like, hey, get a job, find a partner, get a job, have kids, white picket fence,
Traditional.
retire. Very traditional. Now I feel like it's INDEPNDT, do a TikTok dance,
Do a TikTok dance.
and
Very modernized. And very.
So why do you think that is? Why is it independent now?
Because I saw a TikTok on this. What's the newest generation? Gen Z.
Gen Z, or even before that, there's something else.
There's like
Generation
another.
X
There's
or
like
some
another
shit. I don't
name
fucking
for
know.
it. I don't know what the fuck it
Zoomers.
is. Zoomers.
Regardless, they witnessed all the horseshit that all these guys went through. Like,
Yep.
people fell in love, had kids, and then they fell out of love, but they still had kids. So like they kept with it, but there's still turmoil.
Yeah.
So like Gen Z saw all this turmoil, they're like, fuck that. If I'm gonna get in a relationship just to have all that turmoil, fuck a relationship.
Yeah.
So
I
you
think
think it's
that-
just
I
a
think-
direct result of how the past generation was, and that's what we're experiencing now? These are the consequences of that from back then?
Yes, I feel this generation is witnessing the consequences of the actions of the previous generation.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a better idea, or they have a different idea of what it means to be in a relationship.
Okay.
Because the divorce rate is so high, all this generation sees is divorce.
Do you
So
not
they
think?
don't want to get, they want better for themselves.
Do you not think that has to do with the rise of social media though, and being able to see so many different people's perspectives than you could back then?
It's definitely a factor. Like, I'm not denying it.
I feel like that's probably one of the main factors, to be honest with you. Because imagine back then when like social media didn't really exist and it wasn't as popular. Like, you only know about what you hear about either at school or in your hometown or your neighborhood. You don't hear about people from all around the world or people from fucking different states explaining how they got cheated on fucking 25 different times when they have 3 kids and now the other person has a kid and they're a fucking crackhead. Like, you don't hear about all these fucked up situations unless you just heard about it from ear, like mouth to mouth.
Well,
not
Damn.
mouth to mouth, but
Did
fucking-
we just circle back to ignorance is bliss?
that's what I'm saying.
Fucking information overload?
Not only
Yeah.
social media, but just technology as a whole.
Yeah.
Like new,
We had iPod Nanos back when T-Pain was around.
Well, he's
I don't
talking
think
more.
those
He's
are-
talking about like like TV, like movies,
Yeah,
video
and,
games, like
even movies like back.
How far are we going back? Like 60s, 70s, 80s?
I wouldn't say that far back.
No,
I would say
like-
probably
like
just like
90s?
85 to like 95.
They still had some form of technology,
You-
right?
I was gonna say more so like the 2000s, like 2000s.
Still, there was still like chat rooms and shit. It was just a baby stage of the internet.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But yeah, that's what we were trying to say. Like it wasn't as
Prevalent,
prominent as it is
prominent,
now.
Prevalent, yeah.
But don't you think the values and like the principles of just how we go about society back then was way different than now?
Of course,
Yeah,
for sure.
of
But I
course.
feel like it has to do with social media in a sense as well too, just because everything you do now is so fucking displayed and you're so easily judged.
Yeah.
And even just historical events like presidential elections or like laws changing or like San Francisco like homosexuality being more
Prevalent?
accepting.
Yeah.
Not even prevalent because it's very prevalent.
Back then, it
Back
just
then,
wasn't.
it just
accepting.
wasn't
Okay. Yeah.
It just wasn't displayed, in the same
Displayed
way.
or accepted. Like
Yeah.
there's a whole underground, like drag was like prohibition. Like
Like the speakeasies and shit.
like alcohol was out there, but
Yeah.
you just had to find it in the right places.
Yeah.
Drag was out there, you just had to find it in the right place. Now you find drag at every bar downtown.
Well, yeah, they have like drag clubs, they have drag shows. Like it's a very big thing.
And so not only social media, but historical events that push society to naturally evolve to what we are today.
Yeah, it's just pushing the boundaries further.
Right. So I don't want us to just social media is a big factor, but I feel like there are way more other factors in historical events and like stuff outside social media that progress us to the point we are at today here in
Yeah,
society.
I would say that as well too. I think it's just social media is just the most accessible when it comes to all of that. It's just the easiest to obtain information for anybody. Like
Another thing is it the right or is the information valid and correct?
no, not all the time.
Not all the time, but
No, but that's-
but people fucking
but-
take it to their grave.
But that's the problem.
Hmm.
The problem is people are intaking information that might not even be valid.
Yeah, rumors or trolls,
Yeah.
like the list goes on.
I don't know. I think when you dive down into that road, it kind of just gets into so many different branches that you can go into. But
Yeah.
I do think, like I was saying, I think between the age range of 18 to 30 years old, I feel like all of those people within the age range suffer through the same relationship problems, or if not very similar.
Yeah. Maybe just to bigger, smaller scales, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like obviously, if you're, I mean, there is definitely 18-year-olds in serious relationships and stuff like that, and
Wouldn't that boil down to maturity and insecureness?
I don't know about maybe insecureness, yeah, but maturity for sure. Like it just has a lot to do with experience as well too.
And communication.
Yeah, but I mean, all that comes with time and
Yeah.
just like I said, experience as well. But I guess to kind of like wrap back to what you were talking about, do you think companionship and finding like a partner, like, do you think that's necessarily going to resolve your issue or like fill that void to where you can actually start pursuing other things, or do you think that's just going to be like a temporary fix or just a replacement? Like, do you think a companionship is actually going to make you,
Finish the book.
yeah, like this more productive person or chase goals that you
Make
haven't
you a
been
better
chasing out?
germ.
Well, the thing, I think it was just, I don't think having a companion would make me finish my goals faster. I think it was just one of my goals to have. Like, it wasn't necessarily like, oh, if I have a partner, I'm going to finish this book faster. It was more like, I
That's-
want a partner more
yeah.
than I want to finish this book.
That's like on the list of something you want in your life.
Do you think it's right to prioritize that over that though? Like finding a partner, I feel like is something you can't really control to a certain extent, but writing a book is.
Well, that was the thing. Like, I agree with your point. It is not healthy to like search for a partner. And this,
I'd honestly value a partner though over my passion though, right? Or if it's the right person and it's like everything you want out of them.
I have to disagree on that
Yeah?
one, because if you do that, then your passion dies. You die a little, and
then that's not the right person, then, right?
No.
If it was the right if it was the right person, they'd support you, right?
Even with the support. Let me get my thoughts around this. If anyone wants to chime in, because I had like 3 thoughts going in at once.
Yeah.
Justin hit the quick no on that. Let's hear that one.
I just don't think.
So you want to think about it first before you answer? Again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I had 3 different questions and 3 different answers to 3 different problems. So
Did you kind of
let's hear Justin.
want to go in detail and then let him think?
I mean, I just don't see like why you would give up your passion, something that you want to live for, just for someone else's sake of spending more time together, or because you're receiving all the things that you wanted in a relationship.
I agree with that.
Because what happens when it eventually ends? Because everything is bound to end. That
Right,
person
whether
could die
they-
on you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and if your passion died and they die, then you
Then what are you left
dead?
with?
Yeah. So like I feel like passion has to come first.
I guess what I've been kind of dealing with and tackling is a moral and ethics kind of thing, and it's like my relationship with God. It's like I want to do all these things as far as things I'm passionate about. Do the editing, do the sports thing, do this, do that, and I'm just thinking like all of this is for my own happiness. It's for my own pride. It's for my own ego. It's for my own fulfillment. But like that in itself that's gonna die too, because I'm not infinite. I have an expiration date, right? So, and if I'm true to my faith and I'm true to God, then like that should be something on my list as a priority too, to where my journey with that and my faith is something I should be exploring more often. I haven't read the Bible cover to cover. I should do that. I maybe morally, as far as the principles I hold myself to, I abide by them, but I don't abide by some of the things that are in the Bible, right? So it's a pride thing to where like why am I putting myself and things I hold important to myself over, say, the person that is like your soulmate, that is like your end goal, to where like, dude, like number one priority, if I would just drop everything, is I'd love to start a family. I'd love to like have like little Dimitri Juniors running around, like playing soccer with him and shit, or like teaching him how to edit, like playing video games with him. Like that to me is like, that's like passing on your lineage and raising the next generation. That to me is like the most important thing. And I'd honestly drop all of my passions for that, right? But I mean, me personally, I think that's not, like you said, you cannot control that, and you have to let things flow naturally and let it come to you, to where I'm just saying, okay, I will just work on myself and be a better version of myself for now until that even comes about, right? Which is the most healthy way I can approach that currently, you know?
Can you clarify something? You said you drop your passions to pass on your lineage to share your passions.
I would. Okay, so, like, I guess passions is different than like your career, right? So like, I'm passionate about making content and being a content creator, right? Like, would I choose 1 million subscribers over like my ideal family situation? No. Like at the end of the day, if I'm interested in camera work, if I'm interested in sports, those are all activities I can do with my family. You know what I'm saying? And I really respect I really respect just my dad, for example, or some of my family members on my mom or dad's side, right? Because there were things that they obviously wanted to do, but I wouldn't say it was a good or bad thing, because now there's a whole family of like 19 cousins and this many aunties and uncles, right? To where it's like you don't necessarily say that it was a bad thing that they happened because and they had to give this up because now we're alive, right? Or like my dad like dropping soccer to pursue, like to be a dad and like provide for his family. I find honor and I find admiration in that versus, you know, like.
Well, okay, what I would say to argue your point is you mentioned at first that you would drop it for a partner, not a family. Which
I did say the ideal partner, and the ideal partner would in in like a next step would be a family. Like,
Okay, but so you would drop your passion even if you and this ideal partner still didn't even have a family yet. Like, would you still continue? Would you still pursue your passion if you guys?
if there wasn't a future, is what you're saying. If there wasn't a
No.
future with this person, then
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you don't have kids yet.
But is that something I can't do down the line or no?
I'm not saying you can't do that down the line. I'm
But,
just
like,
saying, like, are you
present.
like if you find your ideal partner? Say you find your ideal partner tomorrow, right? I'm assuming you guys are not gonna have kids immediately. No.
Yeah.
So are you just gonna throw away all your passions tomorrow and just be like, oh, I found her. I'm just gonna dedicate the rest of my life now to her, and then eventually when I do have kids, I'm gonna dedicate the rest of my life to them. Because I agree with the part of you
Okay,
dedicating
yeah,
your
yeah,
life
yeah,
to your
okay,
kids and putting your passions aside.
get
Because
what
I would
you're-
do the same thing.
I get what you're saying because you're like, well, you're not giving up your passions if you're doing this and that, right? So it's like, maybe I did word that wrong, right? Where it's like, because you kind of said it's on the list. It's not like you are giving up on it, right? But
yeah,
it's
because
still something,
top of my list is I want to produce a movie.
right? And like
And-
this girl or this book, they're all things on your list, but you want to do them, right?
Right, and I'm not prioritizing the book as much as I prioritizing, like, finding a partner. But even where I should, and then I was going to get on to my point.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys want to finish anything over here?
I think mine was just like a sub journey that I kind of went into because I was just reminiscing. About
Well,
my family.
Well, I was just trying to. I'm sorry, Dimitri. That's sad.
I was like, oh my god,
It's okay. It's okay. The only thing I was trying to get
I'm
at.
winking at my son and shit. So this is the gaming stories. That's how you met Uncle Germ.
The only thing I was worried about is that you were saying that you would drop everything if you had a partner. I
I
understand.
think that was a bad wording. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I understand you like putting your passions aside
Right.
when it comes to a family because I would probably do the same thing. I would
Right.
focus on my family and invest in them.
Because the
But
right
it-
person should not want you to give up on your dreams.
Exactly.
Right?
That's what I'm saying.
If it's
And
out
I was hoping that's not where you were going.
Right. I definitely worded that differently.
If it's out of necessity, then yes.
Yeah.
But if it's not absolute necessity,
right,
no.
you could still do
Exactly.
both. Like
Now-
you could be like PewDiePie.
what
or
if
some
your
shit.
partner wanted you to follow your dreams, but your dreams led you down a path where she wasn't happy with you?
Ooh, that's not the right partner.
Like
not the ideal partner.
Like your dreams like led you to like traveling more often.
That's not the ideal partner. No? Does that not just like defeat the purpose of it being the ideal partner? Because if they really want you to follow your dreams, they should be okay with
I
what
guess
goes
the
along with
ideal
it.
is like the big word, like ideal
That-
partner versus like.
I
a
see your
partner.
hypothetical, but like that isn't something to where that would affect me. Like that scenario is something to where it's kind of like a bad example for me.
Look for
because,
a general. Go from a
Yeah.
general perspective though, not personal.
I feel like that that perspective is like it's reasonable but not a slate to that person for feeling that way, that if you're like out traveling and stuff like this, that's not going to work out.
Yeah.
Then it's not like their fault or like a problem on their end that it couldn't work out, but
Like, they
I
can
mean,
travel
it's just
with
not
you, but they have their own dreams.
'Cause that
like, don't allow
parallel-
them travel.
The parallel I'm drawing right now in my brain is you all watch La La Land,
No.
No, but I know what it
that's the
is.
same principle with that movie. It's like two people having a dream and like in going in their path as far as the Hollywood route goes, but it's like
They're on different.
they're on
paths.
different paths and like the movie's just about their journey with that. Yeah,
I gotta watch that now.
it's a good movie. If you can get past the singing, I know you guys are hate
Yeah.
musicals. Just fucking,
Yeah,
you could
okay,
skip,
okay,
start
you
on
could skip the singing parts, but it's a good movie. Like as far as
Sometimes they're crucial.
yeah. So I mean,
But
it's a good movie.
anything else you guys want to touch on that note?
To go back on that,
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that's not the ideal partner. I do agree with Justin that I think maybe it is, or I should say it is valid for someone to feel that way, because if I was in that position, I probably would feel the same type of way. But at the same time, like, maybe it's just not the right time for you guys to be together at that moment.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Right person, not the right time is the worst. But going back to my original point of like even seeking a partner to begin with,
Yeah.
is that I forget the quote, but it goes something like, if you're seeking something, you're not going to find it, but you attract, like,
Manifestation.
yeah, there's a quote that says something about seeking and something about attracting. But regardless, I'm seeking things and I'm like finding a needle in a haystack versus like just having a magnet on me and just walking about.
It's a different approach to something.
To have the needle come to me.
Right. Which is a smarter and a more efficient way of doing things, and like it works as far as like the law of attraction goes. Like
right.
it's
so like
something that's
if I
proven,
if
right?
I finish this book, maybe that will attract a person that reads my book that like really resonates with me, and that is the ideal partner that I'm not seeking for, but because I accomplished this, because I have this magnet.
Yeah.
Is that a bad way to think though? Because I've always thought that way too. Like where maybe if I go out to this specific place and I talk to this specific person or do this task that I really want to do, that I'm going to find someone when I go there. Like, does that, I feel like that's almost contradicting in itself because you're going in there with an expectation.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think if I finish the book, I'm going to find my partner. I'm not saying that.
But did you not just kind of say like you were seeking that in a sense? Like you finishing your book and putting it out there would potentially bring someone along that would be your ideal partner. Is that not kind of seeking in a sense, like as to why you would finish your book?
I think he's not saying it's seeking.
I'm not saying seeking. I'm just saying it will attract.
Yeah.
Because
Like laws of attraction, like I can't give you the full definition, but just the gist of it is like you're not actively pursuing something. You're just doing what you want to do and what you want to achieve, and by doing those things and accomplishing these things will people will gravitate towards you just energy wise. Do you ever notice like some days you're like hella happy and shit and like everyone notices?
Yeah.
Like some of them are like, oh, you're kind of happy today, or you're kind of this today, or what you guys do today? Like you guys are having a lot of fun. You know, it's just that kind of perception of some people. Like they'll pick up on that. And like if you're having a bad day, like if you're not good at hiding your emotions, people will notice it. So it's like you're kind of attracting people with the energy that you want to receive, right?
I'll give you a scenario with like seeking versus attracting. So I would go to yoga classes for myself, but also whoever's there at yoga class would probably be someone I'm attracted to. I'm not going there seeking attraction, but I'm attracting my hobbies to a community that values the same hobbies as I do. Mm-hmm. So that would be the attraction versus if I just want to go to yoga to see some yoga pants.
Don't you think that they're doing the same thing? The people that are in that class, kind of? As far as the attraction thing goes?
With community?
Yeah, like...
Yeah, I feel like any niche community, like gamers, or like Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Like, I read comics. I'm going to go to Comic-Con to associate with more comic people. And there is where connection can develop.
But do you not think that thought just being activated in your mind in a sense is seeking? Like what if you just did something without even the active thought of thinking that something is going to come out of it? Like I feel like the thought of like that thought even come up and being active in your brain before you go and do that activity is in itself kind of seeking.
I think
I don't think of that thought when I'm doing it.
But
I'm just thinking.
No, I know what you mean. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying, like in general, like even though you're maybe not actively thinking of that in the moment while you're doing it, before you even go do it,
I don't consider that thinking.
Well,
I don't consider that.
You don't consider that seeking?
I get what you're saying.
Do you?
Like,
kind of, yeah.
Because I get what Kyle's saying. It's subconsciously, it's on your mind, and you want that. It's a desire. But I mean, at the end of the day, I think if you're doing what comes naturally, sometimes guys will try to impress girls. Like we always like, who's the fastest guy on the fucking playground? And like the girls, like when we're playing tag, they want to like partner up with this guy because he's the fastest, or he's the quickest, or he's shifty, or he's funny. Like, you know, like everything has something that we gravitate towards, and in theory, that attracts us to the personality of the person.
I would say if I put on cologne to yoga class, that's me seeing.
If there's like intent behind it.
Do you put on cologne?
No. Should I? No. Okay, so like if I do my hair, so how do I put this in words? if I create steps to boost my attraction before my activity, I consider that seeking, because you want
Like
someone
not just going in your natural state.
right.
Yeah.
So that's where my seeking versus attraction would differ than your opinion or thought on.
I think
Because I don't think just going to yoga class and having that thought like, oh, I'm having a community and like someone will come, I don't consider that seeking. I consider seeking as like, I'm going to yoga class to throw on cologne and hopefully a yoga chick comes talk to me.
okay.
Versus like, I'm going to do this activity and whatever comes my way. And I would appreciate it more because I found it in that environment.
Okay, that's valid. I just thought that was maybe something like food for thought.
Yeah, it was a good clarification. Now I'm going to work on it. Hey, yo. No,
Yeah, I got you, Drew. I got you.
JK.
Cologne shopping.
I actually do need cologne. I used to do this sample thing where it's like $15 a month and like they send you.
Different clones.
Scentbird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then
I
stopped.
see ads on that all the time on
Hey,
YouTube videos.
the ads got me.
No,
The
oh,
ads
really?
got me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Hashtag
gotta
ad.
do that spray test with germ.
Oh yeah, the cologne spray
The,
test.
pheromone?
the Austin spray test.
Let them smell
No,
it.
like it's like I spray it and then we smell
It's
it.
the best
Yeah, we
smelling
smell it.
clone ever. You
Yeah.
have to smell it.
I want to try that.
Next-
Have you guys seen
next
the
time you
ads
pull
for the
up.
pheromone?
This boy
The
Pheromone?
sounds like
Pheromone.
Dude.
seeking to me.
dude.
Oh,
the-
he's getting ideas
the
now.
Instagram ads get me all the time.
Oh yeah.
I haven't purchased this one, but there's like a pheromone that like is so desirable. Like
So-
Oh,
That's
wear
hella
that.
OP.
Wear that to yoga.
Yeah, that's
That's OP
good.
as fuck, bro.
Sounds like
Anyways.
hashtag ad scam to me.
yes.
What
it
if
is.
like
Big
they were
scam.
just like haters and like they made the pheromone to where like it was like the most undesirable? It's like, oh my god, get out of here! Like
Fart
you-
spray.
Yeah.
Like you are the most repulsive person at this yoga studio. Like and just like what? And then it was the pheromone. It was a hater. He did it to like despise
That closet hater.
because he despised people.
How'd so yeah. Did we cover all points? I feel like we covered all points.
We did some extra credit today, type shit.
Yeah, I think we got there.
Yeah. How do you guys want to wrap up today's episode?
I'm not gonna lie, bro. My eyes are like shutting, and I think it's like they've just been itching so fucking bad. So I like need to kind of end this
My
because I'm
neck is
dying.
Yeah,
about to
I'm
break.
kind of.
My eyes are like dying right now.
Why I knew that Gamiac combo. Right
My
about now.
imagination is killing me. When we were like fantasizing a family and shit.
We're gonna leave on a depressing note.
All right, well,
No.
All right,
Psych, you fucking thought.
Yeah.
You fucking thought. We were talking about this whole episode about fucking running away from your problems and how you approach them, Fuck all that shit.
Ooh,
Fuck all that shit. We ended on a positive note.
Yeah,
right?
we brought it
Fuck
all
yeah.
back, bit.
My imagination is beautiful, okay? Like, I'm never gonna let someone ever say that shit is not beautiful.
You
Yeah.
got an
okay?
imagination, all right.
breaking
I'll tell you that.
bad
He's
habits.
gonna
with
write a
good
fucking
habits.
book. I'm gonna make this fucking YouTube channel pop off. He's gonna be a fucking designer that's competing with Yeezy and like Kanye West about to be shaking his hand like, yo, I love your design,
Shit.
That boy about to be a fucking platinum recording artist right there. And that one song, Fuck Me Till That shit, about to go off. Diamond.
Whoa.
Diamond.
Exposed.
So,
I didn't say that.
So yeah, I think we end that shit on a positive note. I don't
There
think
it
we
is.
ended on a bad note. We ended on a positive note.
Do we gotta end it on a little acapella?
All right, let's
A
do it.
little jingle.
A little jingle? Since we got all you got us to all sing earlier, I think we should end it off with a little singing, no?
All right, yeah. Do we got a topic in mind?
We had to end it up on Gamiac Convos.
This is another installment.
Of Gamiac Convos with
Gamiac,
Big Germ,
Gamiac,
Justin,
Gamiac,
Icky Kai.
Gamiac.
and
And that's it.
Boom.
rap.
Acapella.
Acapella.
Acapella. Peace out, y'all.
Acapella.
Imagination.
Kids, family, where are they?
Where's my wife?